What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good week, like always. I want to talk about something today that's been on my mind for a while. I've mentioned it a few times here or there, but I really want to brand it and explain what I'm talking about when I say stupid science. So, of course, I love science, I love environmentalism. I'm big on truth and knowledge and wisdom, and of course, scientific evidence and proof. But the science community, and also I would say part of the right wing, but a lot of the left wing and people who are very into science and they claim that they have science on their side, they're not following real science. They're following stupid science. And I'll explain what I mean in like a minute or two. We'll wait for everybody to get in. I'll give a few shout outs. We'll vibe out and then we'll talk about Diane Feinstein, the Green New Deal kid. She had a pretty funny little activist run in. It's pretty funny. And then we'll talk about stupid science and what that means because you can't just say science and be scientific, and you can't just ignore science and claim that you're a scientist. So, we're going to talk about the science that nobody wants to talk about, which is a lot of the undiscovered things, the situations where ego gets involved to humans, including scientists who think that they're very sure about things that are constantly evolving, changing, and with new information, we have to adapt. So we'll talk about Nikola Tesla a little bit. We'll talk about the oldest fossils, how that changed very significant. We're going to talk about climate change, talk about the situation between Diane Feinstein and stupid science, and that hopefully we can get this to be a thing. This way, when we get into scientific debates, we could see where people stand, see who's going on. And Catherine Kingsbury said, "Say my name. You sound like Destiny's Child. Say my name when no one is around you." All right, I'll stop. We got Made in the USA reviews. Jamal Jackson said they love science until it comes to gender. Yeah, that's a big one that they're dropping the ball on. But also, we got we got a lot of other, even in the things that they say that they're scientific about, they actually don't know the science. And I'm going to come with the science, and I'm going to reference their favorite people and see what they have to say. John Asher said she'll fry the science guy. Oh, that's good. Desert Map said Anomaly, my favorite Zappa lookalike. It's funny you said that because Roseanne, I just did an interview with her, and her friend said I looked like Frank Zappa. I think it might have been her son who said that, but I've never heard that till yesterday, and you just said it. Hello from Germany. What's up, Muggsy Spud? Don't let Angela Merkel shut you down. Thank you for joining. If you guys like my hat, I just got this today. It's a Fade to Black hat. I'm on Fade to Black Radio. Got the signature from Jimmy Church there too. Shout out to Jimmy, man. I was at the Conscious Life Expo all weekend, and Jimmy Church is a great guy. He's really shown me a lot of love and showed me that whole community. They talk about all sorts of stuff there, so that's a whole new. Someone said you were assaulted. Maybe I'll tell the story at the end. Yeah, some crazy massage, like she owned a massage chair company, or she was just involved, like she's a salesman. She knocked my hand and hit my phone out of my hand. Really weird stuff. I have it all on video footage. It's just like, me, I'm so chill. I got better things to do. I got videos to make and narratives to debunk. I don't really want to get into all that, but yeah, honestly, I got assaulted and I got it on camera and they tried to blame me, but it doesn't even faze me. I'm not worried about it. It's all good. Tico said, how come you have long hairs? I don't know. Why do you have long hair, short hair? I don't know what you mean. Ira Gershwin said, anyone seen Pop Culture Detective videos? I haven't. Yeah, Bob Ross. Someone said, who is her master? I don't know. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip. Woo. All right. So let's start it off. So we're going to talk about the Diane Feinstein Green New Deal kids thing because it's pretty funny. But what I really want to get, and I'm not even saying trying to brand, but I want to talk about stupid science. Because a lot of people just say science, I'm an environmentalist. But if you're following stupid science, it doesn't really matter. Let me give you an example of exactly what I mean. And then we can apply this to every situation that science incurs. So say you're studying a tree. You guys know what a tree is, obviously. And say you want to know how strong the tree or why the tree is so strong. And say somebody studies the branches of the tree and says, I know why the tree's strong. I've studied everything there is to know about the branches. I know why the tree's strong. I know why it stands firm. It's because it's so strong in the branches. And then say somebody spends their whole life and they studied the bark and the internal tree, and they say, I know why the tree's strong. I know why it's strong. But you get what I'm saying? If you never get to the roots, the real reason, of course, there's the bark, there's the branches, there's the inner tree, but the roots are what holds the tree in place. And unless you really understand the root of the problem, that's why they say the root of the issue. We got to get to the root of the problem. Because if you're on the surface, you're just swinging at branches. That's why a lot of political pundits I don't really care about, because they're just swinging at the branches, and it's going to grow back. The leaves are going to grow back. The branches are going to grow back. Unless you get to the root of the issue, it doesn't matter. And a lot of people study their whole lives studying the wrong thing. So whether it comes to climate change, the earth, human nature, the brain, the oceans, you can learn a lot. And I don't knock scientists, because they do, the Lord's work. They study things, they learn, they observe, they have theories, they test hypotheses, and they come to conclusions that a lot of people can't come. So there's nothing wrong with science. But science does not involve ego. And a lot of people, they study the bark, or they study the branch, or they study the leaf, and they think they know everything there is to know about the tree. And when you try to say, hey, do you ever think about studying the root, or, other elements of it, maybe the rings and such, they don't want to talk about that. So this is, of course, a metaphor. But when I say stupid science, this is what I'm talking about. It's studying the branches, the leaves, and the bark, and claiming you know why the tree stands upright. But if you don't get to the root, none of that really matters. Or even if it does matter, you only know so much. I'm going to take this quote, a Nikola Tesla quote. If you guys know Nikola Tesla, very smart guy, scientist who had a lot of stuff that people say are better than we have today. A lot of people say he invented electricity. Of course, Elon Musk named his company after Tesla, Nikola Tesla. He was a brilliant scientist, but he wasn't maybe quite the businessman like Edison was. So he's not as famous. And maybe he was too on point, or maybe he didn't develop it enough. There's theories as to why he's not as popular, but here's a quote from Nikola Tesla. He says, today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. I'm going to repeat it again, and we're going to talk about what he's talking about: stupid science. Exactly what I'm talking about, stupid science. He's saying, today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. So what's he talking about? He's talking about stupid science. I could employ 500 scientists, and I could say, hey, go study this equation. Or I'll give you an example when it comes to the melting ice caps. And this is what I'm all going to say. You could show it to your friends who are environmentalists, or they're big on progressive agendas. Tell them to study the science, because everything I'm going to say here is backed up not only by myself, but it's backed up by top climate scientists, NASA, government websites, the top researchers in climate science. They're only studying the shorelines when it comes to the melting ice glaciers. They've admitted themselves they can't quite calculate anything. I'll read it in a second. I've read it before off their website, but they're not researching everything. They're only researching the shorelines when it comes to the glaciers. So it's kind of like Tesla said, you could send them in loops, but they're not really doing anything. It's like useful idiots and stupid science. We'll read it in a second, but Diane Feinstein was talking to a bunch of kids. They were like these little kids that were like, Diane Feinstein, Green New Deal, we're all going to die, we're all going to die. And Diane Feinstein was actually pretty funny. Although I will say the big story with Diane Feinstein that no one's paying attention to is the fact she worked side by side with the Chinese spy for 20 years, 2 decades. And somehow that got out of the news. They were like, foreign collusion, foreign collusion, foreign collusion. But they never talked about that. Just a side note, I think that should be in the news cycle more than this, but it's all good. So let's go to climate science. This is a big thing that the Green New Deal says. You got Cortez, you got Bernie Sanders, you have Al Gore, a lot of leftists and a lot of environmentalists like myself. They always talk about climate change. But what they don't understand is a lot of it is stupid science in the way of they're not getting to the root of the problem and the root of Earth and the root of what's really going on here. And they're studying the outskirts of it and saying it's undebatable. That's what they always say. You're a denier, but they're not studying everything. And my first point to that before I read actual climate data is the oceans are between 95 to 80% explored, depending where you look. They say 80% of it's unmapped. Some sources say 95% of it's unexplored, and more than half of the planet by far, by a long shot, is ocean. So if you do the math and the science, you'd find out that most of Earth is actually unexplored. We don't know that much about Earth. We haven't discovered anything. There's new animals we find all the time in the Amazon and such. So we have a lot to learn about the Earth. Anybody that tells you that the science is settled when it comes to planet Earth is totally just lying. It's not even really debatable because we're still learning, we're still listening. And maybe I'll read this one first because a lot of the climate stuff, people are so sure about it that if you say it's not happening or it's not happening in the fashion that they think it is, they lose their minds. But we're going to talk about stupid science in the form of human beings. So this is from New York Times. June 7th, 2017. The headline is Oldest Fossils of Homo sapiens Found in Morocco Altering the History of Our Species. So I'm going to read a passage from the article. They found human fossils in Morocco, which totally changed our understanding of when humans were first created. Although I would say even this is still stupid science in a way where, yeah, it's great. It's real. They're fossils, I'm sure. But we still have so much to learn. We're just finding out that everything we knew is wrong, and that's okay. But when you say the science is settled, and I'm for sure because I'm studying this little element of Earth or this little section, and all my data adds up, but it's like if I told you to study the corner of my room, and I said study the corner, and you said, I know everything there is to know about the corner of your room. So I know everything about the entire apartment complex and the whole city and the whole country. And there's no way you can disagree with me. That's not science. That's stupid science. That's fake science. That's ego in the form of science. That's stubbornness and propaganda delusion in the form of science. All right. Back to this article. New York Times. Until now, the oldest known fossils of our species dated back just 195,000 years. The Moroccan fossils, by contrast, are roughly 300,000 years old. Remarkably, they indicate that early Homo sapiens had faces much like our own, although their brains differed in fundamental ways. So in the course of a day, in one day in 2017, our understanding of science that for some reason politicians and the people who believe them say is settled, in one day, our understanding of humanity changed 105,000 years. So 2016, that's all we know. One discovery, we shift over 100,000 years, and the shape of, what maybe we thought the human was, the face and such, totally changed. That's because there's one thing that's true in science is the science is almost never settled. And when it comes to our understanding of artifacts and humans and skulls and bones, it's only what we know. And one discovery can change all of what we know in an instant. And of course, when it comes to the planet and the climate and the science and the universe and, the oceans and volcanoes and ice and water, we have a lot to understand. And it's just so funny to me that people think there's such science. I'll give you an example. I was at the Conscious Life Expo today. I met a lot of amazing, really smart, cool people. But I talked to one woman and she said, hey, this woman's running for president and her platform's so great. She said, she's going to get the oil execs out. She's going to get all the oil execs out. And I was like, cool. So what's her solution? And she got very upset that I asked these questions because I said a lot of people, they know the problem. They try to get these people out. But the new people, they're even just as bad, if not worse. So my problem is we're filtering through new politicians and anti-lobbyists and stuff, which is cool. But what's the solution? If you replace the problem with a problem, we're not really solving anything. And she got actually upset because a lot of environmentalists, they're not really scientists and they're not deep thinkers and they're not, true scientists, I would say. So if you ask them a scientific question, they get really upset. Where, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but she was like, "Well, I feel like you're attacking me." Maybe I could have changed my tone, but I was like, "No, no, no, no. I'm just curious. What solutions does she have?" And the woman was like, I don't know what solution she has. She's getting rid of the oil people." I said, "That's great, but what's her idea? Like, what type of science is she following?" Because I love science and I told her I follow climate science very closely, and there's a lot of fake scientists. So is her science real or is she following fake scientists? And she was very upset I asked that. So a lot of environmentalists are, you notice they don't want to discuss. And the problem is too, a lot of people on the right wing have no idea what they're talking about. A lot of the top right wing talking heads, they don't know what I know. And I'm not that I know that much, but I see them speak and they have no idea what they're talking about. So it also sows discourse because when you have people that are like, "Oh, science, climate change is wrong," and then they're like, "Why is it wrong?" And they're like, "Duh, I don't know, like, oil," and you're like, "All right, well, that's not very convincing." Now you sound like a, douchey Republican that no one likes. I get it, but I know the science. And the climate science is far from settled. I mean, it's insane that they say it's settled. And it's become such a thing that if you question that to people that are into science, they freak out. But they're in for a rude awakening. This is I'm gonna research. I've done this a few times, but for those who haven't heard and for those who have, this is from December 13th, 2018, which is a couple months ago. It's from NASA. It's from climate.nasa.gov, who are, the top leading climate scientists for our government, and they get God knows how many billions of dollars. I don't know about the climate specifically, but for sure, NASA, they make a lot of money. The headline is Antarctica's contribution to sea level rise was mitigated by snowfall. So they try to push the climate change and global warming agenda, and they tried to do that for years, decades, and then they realized that like this year you're getting a lot of rain in California, you're getting snow and sleet, and it's colder than ever. So global warming doesn't actually make sense because the globe's not really heating in every area. Certain places is, certain places cooling. I get it, CO2, but they changed it to climate change because global warming doesn't really make sense. And if you look, we'll go issue by issue. I don't want to misconstrue stuff. So they always said the ice caps are melting, and they showed you stupid science, which is just pictures of ice melting, which happens all the time. Ice melts, it grows, it snows, it rains, it rises, it lowers. So that's the stupid science. The smart science is what I'm about to talk to. And this isn't fringe conspiracy. This is NASA and climate government. So they have a map. You could see it. If you search Antarctica's contribution to sea level rise was mitigated by snowfall, you could Google it now. You could see the map. It's all white for the snow, and the sides of it, you see a few places melting. 1, 2, 3, 4 areas melting, and you see 1, 2, 3 areas where the snow is actually gaining. And it looks like, according to this map, there's a lot more gains than losses. They've admitted this before, that there's actually more ice being gained than melting. And then they try to say, "Oh," but you could see for yourself, it's not a drastic melt. It's like melting, gaining. And also in the Independent, they discovered, which I've said time and time again, there's active volcanoes under certain areas where it's melting. So if you have an active volcano, the science is there's a volcano, it's extremely hot. Extreme hot temperatures makes ice melt. But they don't want to say that. They do mental gymnastics to be like, it's melting. Maybe it's because of the volcano, but it's probably other things too, for sure. Don't think it's the volcano. No, it's not the volcano. Trust me, it's climate. That's stupid science. They care more about the political agenda than they do the science. Because if I'm studying climate change and I think it's melting for a number of reasons, and then I find an active volcano, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican or left wing, right wing, environmentalist or oil guy, you have to adapt and realize, you know what, this is something I didn't understand, that there's volcanoes, and of course that's going to change the temperature, and of course that's going to make ice melt if there's active volcanoes. But they don't do that because they're not smart scientists. They're propagandists. They're stupid scientists, and they're stupid science followers. And instead of learning from new things, just like we found out in Morocco, 100,000-year-old 100,000 years in the past where we're like, oh, we got to change the science. We have to change the history. It didn't start where we thought it started. At least we know this now. They don't do that. They try to cover it up and call you a denier and say, no, 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 no. It's not science. It's politics. And it's so obvious now. I understand oil people have their agenda. These people have their agenda, but the science just is not adding up. And this, I like to read this paragraph. This is straight from the NASA website, the climate website, because it's really hilarious. When you read this, you should read this to any, or show this to any environmentalist, show this to any climate change activist, because if you don't understand this science and this data, you don't really understand anything. And if this information that I'm about to share is a threat to your ideology and it makes you think that you might be wrong, then you have to consider that you're not a scientist or a truth seeker. You're a climate propagandist who wants so bad it to be true. You want it to be heating. You want it to be a crisis. And if it's not, that's how I am. That's why people say, Emily, you're so chill or this or that. I'm not that attached to anything. I think attachment is the root of a lot of suffering, but also it's not about me. It's like, it's not about my agenda. It's not about Trump. It's not about the right wing agenda. It's not about the left wing agenda. There's catalysts and there's people who play a role. But if I find evidence and data that it's not true, that's why I'm here. A lot of people, maybe they're here for donor money, or they're here for the fame and the award shows, or you know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking anybody, but it's like, regardless of left wing or right wing, if you're not standing up for truth, you're never going to be able to help people. Because if your agenda is wrong and you're trying to eliminate poverty or climate change, and you get new information and you force that information away because it messes up what you're trying to say, you're not the real deal. But I'm not that attached to this. I'm not that attached to oil or climate change. Or it's like, show me the Carfax, show me the truth, and we'll go from there. But this is from the NASA website, what I'm about to read. And no climate scientists or no global warming AOCs, Green New Deals, Bernie Sanders, like, they don't want to hear this. And they need to hear this, because the reason we don't clean the oceans or clean the air or clean the water is because we're so busy following fake science. And a lot of this climate science is fake science, and it's a waste of time and energy. It's why the water's not clean. It's why the oceans aren't clean, because we have most of our manpower and our energy pushing an agenda that makes absolutely no sense. And this comes from NASA's website. Ready? Snowfall is very difficult to measure over Antarctica. For starters, there are very few weather stations in the frozen continent, and most of them are installed along the coastline. Secondly, satellites have a hard time measuring snow from space. They basically confuse the snow that's falling down with the snow that's already on the ground. Climate models struggle to replicate the total amount of snow that falls over Antarctica each year. So scientists often have to rely on ice cores, cylinders of ice drilled from the ice sheet whose layers store a trove of information, amongst it how much snow fell in a certain year or decade. But drilling ice cores is logistically challenging, so they are sparse and do not cover the entire continent. So this is NASA. This is the climate scientists that everyone references. They're telling you multiple things here. They can't measure the snow. They're what's it called? Their satellites don't pick it up. They can't tell. They don't know how much snow is falling. They don't measure the entire continent. They only measure the coastlines in very small amount of areas. So it's like, that's why I use the tree metaphor. If you study the branches and the leaves and the bark, but you've never been to the root of the tree, you don't know how the tree works. You don't understand why it's there. You can't tell how strong it is. You don't know if it's gaining, or like, there's so much more to the tree than the branches. And this is not fringe science. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not a denier. I'm not paid by the oil industry. I want to clean the oceans and the water. I'm down for Tesla style energy or something, and I'm talking Nikola Tesla and Elon. If he has something that works, I'm with it. But so many people are so attached to climate change. They push this away. They push science away. They push climate science away because it doesn't fit the agenda. And you can't understand Antarctica if you don't measure the entire continent. You can't just measure the coastlines of a continent and think you understand how much ice is melting. Of course, the ice is going to melt around the sides. That's how it works. It's right next to the water. If you have ice and you put it in water, the water the ice turns into water. It melts. That's how ice works. But the craziest part about this map by NASA couple months ago is if you look at the map, even along the coastlines, it's only melting in 3 or 4 small parts and it's gaining ice even along the coastline. So, what that's telling me, and also the weather in Minneapolis and Los Angeles, it's actually getting colder. We don't have a drought problem. There's a drought, it floods sometimes. Like, this is, natural orders. And when it comes to stupid science, would say we know everything about Earth, it's all settled, there's no other way, humans are causing it, it's all our fault, and there's no other way that it could be anything else. And if there's volcanoes or NASA data that doesn't go my way, we got to throw it to the side. Smart science says we haven't explored 95 to 80% of the oceans. They're unmapped. We don't understand what's down there. Someone's like, it's empty, it's just all water. Are you sure? Is that is that really what people think? Like, oh, there's nothing down there. Of course I'm sure there's creatures. There could be civilizations. There could be, bases and, weather manipulation things. I mean, I'm not gonna say for sure, but just because we haven't explored most of the planet, we're supposed to believe that there's nothing down there, and it's just silly to think that. Also, smart science says there's a sun. If you guys haven't noticed, there's a big ball. It's a big ball of fire in the sky, and it shoots solar flares sometimes. And if it's really, really hot, it could burn the entire planet without our permission. It could freeze the entire planet if it gets colder. It's why a lot of ancient civilizations prayed to the sun and they called it a sun god and had all sorts of rituals for it. It's because they understood the importance of the sun and how it was out of human control. So they would pray and show their gratefulness to the sun, because humans back then were probably smarter. And they said, hey, thank you so much for not freezing us. Thank you so much for not heating us. Thank you so much for allowing us to survive and function. And thank you for giving us energy and heat. But nowadays, we don't even acknowledge the sun. We just take it for granted. People think I'm crazy because I go outside and I'm like a dog. If you have a dog, sometimes your dog runs to the sun. I run to the sun and I say, man, I'm so happy that it's sunny. Right? Like, the world could fall. I don't, why? Like, it's all being held by a tiny thread when it comes to society. So I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for a nice day, be able to relax. And people are like, you're crazy. No, it's because someone said earlier, science has become a religion. It has. It's crazy that religious people have become, in a weird way, more scientific, and the science community, in a strange way, have become more conspiratorial and more religious, where they're like, no, it's settled. It's all there. And it's like, it's really not. You see how much they lie to you on the news. You see how much they lie to you in education. You see how much they lie to you when it comes to history. You see how much they lie to you. And this is progressive stuff. Progressives know the pharmacy industry is lying to them. Left-wing environmentalists, they know that the food industry is a scam, from factory farming to antibiotics in the food to just horrible ingredients and mass production to mainstream, family products being found with asbestos in them recently. When it comes to products, they tell you, like, we know that we're being lied to when it comes to the pharmacy, the food industry, the health industry. So I don't understand why people are so attached to environmentalism when the root of it is a lot of climate government scientists. And to their credit, to NASA's credit here, they're actually they're admitting that they don't know. They're like, I respect that. I respect that they're like, hey, we don't measure that much. We only measure the coastlines. We can't tell how much snow is falling, and it's really not that bad. Like, that's what this whole article says. And it's not old. It's literally it's one of the newest climate articles. It's because I follow this stuff. So stupid science says we got it. It's all us. There's no way it could be. We're bad. And a lot of this propaganda is not only anti-Western, but it's also anti-man. I'm sorry, not anti-man, anti-human. Like, they're like, we'd be better without humans. The world would thrive without us. They're like, it's gonna end. We want, like, I'm very spiritual, if you guys haven't noticed, or at least I'm very into the mindset, the consciousness, the psychology behind things. And that's why you have to understand, when a billion people believe something, it's very powerful, whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether it's movies and television. If you can get a billion people to believe one thing, Think how much energy that is. That's a billion people manifesting something, waiting for whether it's Islam or Christianity. You have billions of people waiting for an event to happen. That's why I believe in energy and spirit, because if you believe in it, if you really believe, it is like people are like that's not the pseudoscience, like religion's fake, spirituality's fake, it's not true. It's like, no, that it is science if you learn energy and spirit and consciousness and your brain and how the placebo effect to how you can eliminate stress in your body and heal yourself. This is like proven science. It's not pseudoscience. And with climate change, you have a billion people wishing that the world's going to end, or thinking it's going to end. You have a billion people screaming, "We're the problem. We're the problem. We're the problem. We got to do. We're the problem." But they're not particularly fully getting a solution because if we are, I do believe we are a problem. I think spiritually we're a problem. I think we're producing right. Like we're not. The earth is our home. This is where I agree with the left and a lot of hippies. The earth is our home. You wouldn't mistreat your home. You wouldn't trash your own house. Hopefully, I gotta really clean up. Honestly, I've been busy. It makes me think. I'm like, man, I got a Jordan Peterson. I gotta make my bed and clean my room. But you wouldn't want to trash your own house. You wouldn't want to trash your own complex. So I do believe we're trashing the earth. I think spiritually we're very lost and we need to unite. I think mentally we're very lost. So I think that has a huge effect on the earth. I agree. But a lot of these climate scientists, they're really just like intellectual pseudoscience Marxists, where they're like, make excuses, no self accountability, no self awareness, no self responsibility. But the world's going to end in 12 years. And the only way to get off that is to completely shift to this energy source. But they're not doing the math and understanding, like, okay, this is how the economy works. And don't get me wrong, we're wasting a lot of money. It's a total buffoonery situation. But it's like, they're like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that, and it's all going to get better. But we can't control the planet. I'm not saying to plan for the worst in this sense, but like there could be multiple reasons for things. There could be volcanoes. There are volcanoes. The ocean is very interesting. I think we need to clean it up for sure. But there's floods. I mean, you could read the Bible to read a history book. Like there's times, and even they're calling for a huge biblical flood in Los Angeles. It's very biblical as far as like, all right, one of the what they would say is the most sinful place is about to get flooded out. There's elements to the earth we just can't control, and it's interesting because a lot of these people that push this climate change agenda, they don't believe in God, so they've made politics their God. They've made themselves their God. Say, we're the reason, we're the problem, we're the only way, and we're going to solve it with machines. And it's just so weird to me. It's like, if you really like, MIT's making all these machines. My personal belief is I don't think the earth wants us to do all that. Like, I think we should make better food and better medicine and stuff. But if we really want more air and less CO2, we have trees for that. A lot of like the best medicines come from natural plants. I agree. Hemp, can suck up stuff. Trees can suck up stuff. I just feel like we're like mentally ill, just like, oh. It's like, yo, let's unwind. Let's talk about the real science of the earth. Let's figure out, is the climate really changing? Because if it's not, and we're worried about that, and billions of people are manifesting it, we're actually not helping. Is the ice caps, is it really melting, or are we just measuring the outskirts? And maybe there's a lot of reports of a magnetic shift as far as the poles are shifting, drastically. So it's like there's a lot of, for sure, impending situations. But I do believe, I mean, it's a beautiful planet. We have the sun. There's no reason any of this should exist, but we do. And every day we get through it. So what I would love to see from the environmentalists and from, the right wing as well, is a little bit of unity as far as like, hey, we're all in this together. We're all brothers and sisters. We all need to solve the problem, rationally, calmly, spiritually, and really make us a better earth. And that's where I've kind of lost out with the stupid science, where if I say these things, people are like, no, I don't want to hear it. There's no way. Like, that's not true. Like, we got to do this, we got to do that. But it's like, if you do all that stuff, you might find out like that the planet didn't end when Al Gore said it's going to end. I don't think it's going to end in 12 years. But if you keep putting out that energy of, all that stuff. It's really bad. Stupid science, honestly. And from Homo sapiens in Morocco, our science changed 105,000 years in a day. Everything we knew got turned on a dime. And we have to prepare for that when it comes to planet Earth and the universe. I mean, space, they make all these discoveries all the time. Although, to be honest, I'm very skeptical of that stuff too. But they'll be like, there's no planets like Earth. There's a billion planets like Earth. There's trillions of planets like Earth. There's no water there. Oh, there's water there. Only a life can be like Earth life. And then they're like, wait, maybe life doesn't need to thrive off water. Maybe other life in the universe. We've been to the moon. Now we're not going back. Now we're going to Mars. See a lot of interesting science going on out there. But overall, when it comes to planet Earth, we have not discovered most of Earth. The oceans are undiscovered. We have a lot to learn about where volcanoes are. And I mean, from biblical type floods to massive volcanoes that could end humanity in a second, like we're not quite in control. And I find that a lot of the environmentalism now is not so much about creating solutions like I'm talking about or Nikola Tesla. It's more about communism and socialism, where they're taking money, they're stopping production, and they're forcing you to do something. And they're also redistributing your money. If you're a genius, from Cortez to Elon Musk, invent the truth, show people the truth, mass distribute it, get people involved. You can do that. I don't agree with this communist socialist ideology, because if climate change is not quite as real as they say it is, they take our money, they start adding gas tax and climate tax and redistributing wealth and closing down oil companies and saying we got to do this, we got to do that, and it doesn't quite work. And not like I just don't understand that ideology, because I'll give you an example. It's another stupid science, stupid math example. I say this a lot, and Brandon Straka mentioned it on Twitter today. It re-sparked my interest in it. I'd be okay with universal health care if it was helping people that had genetic disorders and really bad diseases that they couldn't help. I would feel better about a socialized or communist style government run healthcare if that was the case. But here's the thing. Here's the stupid science of the United States. We have, I think, the most obesity. I don't know where we're at now, but we have, mental health problem running rampant. We have suicide problems, which is a little separate but involved. You have literally like heart disease and obesity is at an all-time high. And a lot of this stuff is preventable. Some of it's genetic, but just to roughly guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is a guess, but say there's 30, 40, 50 million people in this country that don't take care of themselves. If what Brandon said is I run 5 times a day or 5 times a week, I don't smoke. And me, I hike, I play basketball, I play soccer. I'm pretty fit. So I wouldn't mind paying for other people if everyone was doing their fair share. That's what socialism, communism is about. We all do our fair share. But if you're going to penalize me for what 50 million people aren't going to take care of themselves, and you call that equality and it's going to work I call that stupid math and stupid science. It's like getting the disease and then trying to take the pill because you got the disease. If you could have prevented the disease in the first place. Certain cases of obesity are genetic and certain people have more trouble doing stuff. But a lot of people in this country are very unhealthy. They watch terrible programming. They listen to terrible stuff. They take terrible pills. They eat terrible products. They have a horrible work schedule. They don't stretch. They don't work out. That's not my business until it is my business. I don't care what people do. I'm not going to judge people who are fat, skinny, tall, short, obese, healthy, play sports, don't move at all. It's not my business. My business is to love and appreciate everyone. But if you steal my money, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and all of these progressives want to do, if you steal my money and redistribute it for a universal health care, now it's literally my business because you're taking my money and it's my business now. So now I have to say, I'm not going to pay for your stuff unless you take care of yourself. That's smart science. It's like eating horrible foods, watching horrible movies, watching horrible programming, listening to liars, just eating, not working out. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there. And I sit there all the time too. My back hurts, but in general. And then you say, okay, I need a cure. I need the cure to this. So then you start going to the doctor and taking all these pharmacy pills that you see in the commercials. Some would say they'd look at the pharmacy pills and they'd look at the doctor visits and they'd say, That's science. That's science. You take the pill, you lose the weight. You take the pill, you lose the disease. You go to the doctor, he makes you better. That's science. Now, that's stupid science, in my opinion, because you could have, and like I said, I'm only talking in specific cases. I understand there's things you can't help. There's diseases, there's disorders, there's genetics, and God bless anyone's souls that's have to deal with that. We all do in some ways. I mean, my grandfather got Alzheimer's. They don't even know why that happens. My one grandfather worked in an asbestos factory and suffered from that. So my grandparents suffered from things that they, job, and also like Alzheimer's is horrible. You lose your mind. No one really knows why it happens. I'm very compassionate and sympathetic to that type of stuff. I'm not blaming people with those type of disorders, and there are a lot, but there's also a lot of people, stupid science. No, 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 no. They need the healthcare, but how many people like that's what the leftists never do with environmentalism, and that's what they never do with economics. That's what they never do with healthcare. To solve homelessness, first of all, there's a lot of homeless veterans, which is awful. They fight for our country. They need help and, mental help, and also like just getting back into society. It's tough, but also a lot of people look at homeless and say, we need to help them. This is, in my opinion, stupid math, stupid science, stupid economics. They say, we need to help them. We need to help them. So billions of dollars, they're taking my money. They're taking working class people's money. They take our money, take our money, take our money, take our money. California, highest taxes, most poverty, homeless problem. Like they're doing everything. They got the most money. Teachers on strike, potholes everywhere. So they're not doing anything with it. But then they keep saying, no, we got to help them. But that's stupid science. That's stupid thought process. You have to separate. It's not just everyone needs my help. I need to just give them money and jobs and places to stay. That's stupid science. The truth is, these people are homeless veterans. They need mental health and they need to function in society. And we need to end the wars. That's the root of the problem, if we can. Then this group of people needs a job and they need a place to stay for sure. But then there's this many people that are just drug addicts and they messed up. And honestly, they need mental health or they need a little kick in the butt. And then this group of people, they might just suck. Honestly, like there's certain people, if you line up 20 kids, one of the kids say he's unathletic. He's never going to be in the MLB. You could give him training. You could put him in camps. He can have fun. He could join the team. But if he's not good enough, he's never going to be good enough. There's no way to make certain people into certain things. It's the ancient philosophy of you can't help people who don't want to help themselves. You just can't help people who don't want to help themselves. You could show them the light, you could show them the way, you could teach them the formula, but if they don't want to do it, they're never going to do it. So the truth is, you can't help everyone. And I want to. It hurts my soul to say that. But if you really want to solve homelessness, homeless veterans, these people, there's 8 layers of why people are homeless. And a large majority of them is because they're incentivizing homelessness. It's the same in the Black community and now in the white community as well. As soon as they pass welfare programs, it's been crushing families ever since, and social media, and I'm sure mass media as well. Not just that, but if you give people more money for having more kids and not having a father in the home, you're incentivizing that. So it's not like, oh, if you do that, it's going to be bad for you. It's like telling your kid, like, hey, like you're going to get hurt if you do that. But what if you told your kid to do the wrong thing and you said, hey, if you do that, I'm going to give you $5,000. And then every kid you have, I'm going to give you $10,000 on top of that. It's not really incentive to stop doing that. So that's why you have a lot of parents with multiple kids and no fathers, because they're incentivizing that. So that's smart science. It's like, we got to realize some women need help. Some families need help, but we can't be foolish and naive or else they're going to take advantage of us. And that's what they're doing on every front. And that's why, honestly, I don't agree with the right wing on anything. I find that they can be hypocritical and wrong about some things, and everybody's different. There's all individuals, but the left wing is just totally intolerable to me because they're wrong about almost everything. And I say this as an environmentalist. I say this as a compassionate person. They're wrong about homelessness. They're wrong about taxes. They're wrong about First Amendment, freedom of speech and censorship. They're wrong about the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. They're wrong about, a lot of things, whether it's like now they're pro, like, hey, we'll raid that person's office because we don't like Trump. It's like, well, now we're believe all women. And okay, well, now we're losing this right. Now we're losing that. We're losing our rights. The left wing's losing everything. And their main agenda is socialist healthcare with no common sense involved and government run healthcare with no strong strength involved with their compassion and kindness. And then this climate science, which is so far out of whack, honestly, it's going to age like the Mueller Council. Honestly, it's going to age horribly. And it's hard to even say this stuff because if I put, did I put climate change? I'll probably get this flagged. I'll get demonetized, and they'll put a little like Encyclopedia Britannica at the bottom, and they'll say, "Hey, just to let you guys know, Anomaly's wrong. Here's what it is." Like they won't even let me live in my own space because it's such a threat. But it's none of what the left wing's doing is aging well, and I play it both ways. I understand we have to clean the oceans, we have to clean the water. We do have to understand we are populating at a very enormous rate, so we have to, I do think, mitigate this stuff with intelligent solutions. I agree. We're wasting so much time and energy in stupid politics. Politics sucks. I agree. Trump is interesting and he's done a lot of, important stuff but like the rate at which Congress moves, they're not doing anything right. They're not cleaning Trump actually did pass a cleaning the ocean bill and barely anyone talked about it, but they're not solving any of humanity's problems. I agree with progressives on that. They're not doing it. They're not doing environmentalists. They're not doing almost anything right. But we have to do that, and we can't expect them to do it, and we can't lie about it and expect to be virtuous. It's like that's what the left wing to me represents now. It's like pretending to be virtuous, being extremely stubborn, extremely hypocritical, extremely hateful in many ways, extremely like egotistical and like all about me and I'm the best. I don't want to be wrong. Look at me, look at me. And that's not true virtue. That's not true compassion. That's not true intelligence. That's not true wisdom. And it's like you can't question it now. It's like, hey guys, it's like it's getting so bad. Like I said, I hate to pick sides, but one side's trying to preserve my freedom and not steal my money, and the other side's lying about everything. And it's like they won't even let you get a word in. So when it comes to healthcare, stupid science is saying we're gonna make it socialistic and everyone's gonna get better healthcare. Smart science says if you're gonna take my money and you're gonna redistribute everyone's money and force people into plans and give it to everybody, we need a spiritual and physical and mental awakening. I'm sorry, if you push communist healthcare on us, now I'm going to be a leader and say, listen, the 30 million people who don't take care of the 50 million or the 100, it might be even 150, 200 million. We're a very unhealthy country. We got to step it up because I'm not going to be subsidizing your bad habits. Just like I don't expect you to pay for me. Like if I eat a lot of crap and, poop myself all the time or something, I don't expect you to pay for toilet paper or my water bill. If I don't take care of myself, you shouldn't have to pay for all my problems. No one should have to pay for my problems. I don't expect other people to take care of me. Even my parents. I moved to the city when I was 22, 23. I never got $1. I've been on my own with like less than $1,000. I've done it. So why in the world would I give up my money? And then it's like, it's just going to work flawlessly. And now you're going to incentivize people to be lazy. And that's what the doctor system is even now. It's like a factory farm. You go in, blah, take that, go out. It's like they're just shoving us. But they don't tell you about preventative care, because if you prevent the care, you're not sick. And if you're not sick, you won't buy the medicine. If you don't buy the medicine, they don't get the money. And if they don't get the money, they don't have an industry. That's how it works. That's smart science. That's smart truth. That's root level stuff. And some things are unavoidable, but the biggest thing I'm realizing, and I've studied, watched documentaries, I'm convinced, and please do your own research, have your own opinions as well. I'm convinced that the biggest thing you can do to live a healthy life, above even diet and exercise, which I do think is important, but like mental health. I'll give you an example. When it comes to a sports team, if you're the better team talent-wise, just like if you have better genetics or whatever, if you don't go play, you're going to lose. And it happens a lot. People show up, they get cocky, they don't play. You're going to lose the game, even if you're more talented, if you don't try hard enough. Same thing with mental health. A lot of people, if you give up in life, you're going to get sick. The stronger I've been and the smarter I've been, I haven't been sick in a long time. Years ago, I got sick and sick and sick. I was sick for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, but I'm finding out now it was my habits. It was my mindset. When I got sick, I gave up. And I got sick and I just laid around and I was like, I have strep throat. I kept getting it. For 3 months, they almost tried to take my tonsils out. I have huge tonsils, by the way, abnormally huge. It's probably not good. But now when I get sick or get like a cold or a flu or something, my mind is like, I got to get through that. I'm not just giving up. I'm just like, I got to get through that. Drink water, orange juice, whatever. Like all the remedies, I do that. Go to the sauna. 2 days, I'm done. Where that would drag out for 2 months, it's because your mind, and that's what they don't want to tell you. That's why with all these commercials, and honestly, all of these, even these political pundits, honestly, I'm. If you start noticing, I'm not even talking about politics right now. I'm getting bored of politics. Even mainstream, it's like blah, 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 blah. They just scream, and then they're like, buy this pill, buy this lawyer, buy this pill, buy this lawyer, buy this. It's like, stop. You're not helping. So a lot of this stuff, it's just like, you know what? Your mind is the most important. There's no commercials that say, hey, drink water, take care of yourself, and you might not need this medicine. It's not profitable. It's not profitable to tell you that stuff. It's not profitable for the pharmaceutical industry. If you realize why I don't like television anymore, because it's run by the pharmacy industry. Every commercial is pills, pills, pills. It wasn't like that 10 years ago. You might have Zoloft with the little bouncy ball. He's like, da, 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 da. You had him 10 years ago. He was the only one. That's all you saw was the little Zoloft beach ball Jigglypuff guy. Now you watch TV, you can't not see a pill. They're trying to make you sick. They want you to feel sick. They're purposely being vague so you feel sick, so you buy the pill. But it's not. That's stupid science. Stupid science. And don't misconstrue what I'm saying, because I know there's some people saying, normally I take these pills, and normally I do this, I do that. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your scientist per se. I don't know you. There's individual cases. There's things I do that people would say, don't do that, don't do this. That's why I'm telling you, do what you want. If something works for you, do it. But I'm just saying, don't doubt your mind. If you take anything from this, understand that your mind is powerful. And some of the people who lived the longest, they had spirit and they had mental power. Because that's what wins you a sports game, is wanting it more than the other person, even if you're less talented. It's what works in industries. I mean, you don't even have to be that intelligent, honestly. You don't have to be that smart. You don't have to be that creative. You don't really have, and I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to be or anything, but I see a lot of people make it. You just have to want it. You have to love yourself enough to want it. You have to be persistent and patient and lower your ego. Because if you're lying to yourself and there's something you need to change to be successful, and you lie to yourself and you lie to yourself and you lie to yourself, you're actually holding yourself back. The reason I do so well is because I've eliminated almost all of those out of my life completely, where I'm obviously not perfect and I strive to be better. And there's things that I still need to weed out of my life, but I've made a conscious effort. And when people told me wisdom, I listened. And when people had an argument or a fact that went against what I thought, for a while I denied it. And that's why I'm so strong in my belief now, because I've been there. I've blocked my own path before. But once you realize this stuff, if you take it and run with it, you're gonna, and that's the beautiful thing about now, is if you take it and run with it, you're gonna beat 95% of people, because a lot of people aren't thinking that way. So you can sprint past the pack just by being honest with yourself. You don't even have to know that much. There's so much opportunity available for people who are just ready to listen, learn, evolve, and do. And when I say do, that's a part that people miss, because they just think and think and think and plan and plan and plan. It's good, but sometimes you just got to roll it out, That's why I troll people sometimes, because they critique me all the time. And people think I'm being rude or egotistical. I'm really not. But I say it as a joke to troll, but I'm also serious, where it's like, you have to let things go. I have hundreds of videos. So people are like, I don't like that. I don't like the long videos. Well, go watch one of my 100 short videos. So I don't like the short videos. And watch the long. Like, everybody likes different things, but I just go. So a lot of times people who critique, I joke, and I think it's funny. Some people do as well. Some people get mad, but I say that because I'm challenging people as well. I'm like, listen, ideas are worthless unless you execute them. Thoughts and plans are pointless, and overanalyzing certain things is important. But honestly, the truth isn't really complicated a lot. The truth is pretty simple. And I feel like this is some stuff that above the politics and even science, it's like, this is science. This, like, your mind, your thoughts, your actions, like how the world works. This is smart science, and they want you running in circles with stupid science. Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't understand how the world works, and you're just constantly just playing into, we got to do this, we got to get that money, we got to stop this industry, it's not the true path to success. And if you get right in yourself, you'll realize you'll have a bigger impact. You could be the next Nikola Tesla. You could be the next Elon Musk, maybe, or the better version of Elon Musk, because the world is desperately looking for matrix breakers, and the world is desperately looking for people. And hopefully I could show that, because I've really grown over the past couple of years, and I don't have a team. I don't have a label. I don't have a business partner. I don't have a donor. But what I have is something that a lot of, I guess, is not that common, which is persistence, but also like, really seeking truth without boundaries, and just doing, honestly, like rolling it out. And there's such a gap there, whether you do education, fashion, entertainment, like whatever your passion is. The world desperately needs better people, and I'm more honest people. And if you can fill that void, it's a great time to be alive. But I hope people understand where I'm going with this, and the smart science, which is root level stuff, which is take control of your mind, take control of your body, take control of your spirit, and be the change you want to see in the world. Enjoy your life, because it's all really perspective. I took 2 breaks from Twitter because I was at this expo, and it's like, none of this matters on Twitter unless you log in. If you never log in, it doesn't even exist. And I know a lot of people here are political activists, and a lot of people are really into it, which is great. It's very important. But just remember, we create our own reality. If you don't log into Twitter for a year, you don't even know about it. And so be careful, because when I talk about matrix breaking, I'm also going to talk about, because I call people matrix breakers, I want to talk about matrix creation, because we can choose our own reality as well. So if you follow 50 news stories and loops, and anomaly, get mad about them, get upset, I'll talk about that. I saw the super chat. I'll talk about it in a second. But you could free yourself from that matrix. You could sidestep, and you could get into a whole nother rabbit hole. So we really don't just blame the politicians or the media or the elites and the bankers and stuff. Obviously, they're doing some sketchy stuff, but understand that we have the ability to totally shift our own matrices and our own thought process, even within what we're doing now. And it's very powerful to really take advantage of that and fine tune what you let into your body. And then, it could change your whole life. Like I listen to a lot of people, but I used to listen to certain people, and then I could listen to health podcasts or like financial podcasts. I could learn finances in a month if I listen to all finance. But if I didn't do that, I could be reading stories about politicians on loop and getting mad and getting tense in my body, because I'm like, oh my God, what did that celebrity say about Jesse Smollett? Oh my God, why did they say that? But like, I don't even have to read that. That's why I rarely kind of respond to that type of stuff, because it's not that I don't want, or I'm trying to be weak, but it's like, there's so much out there. There's so much cool stuff. And this internet era is like, it really is beautiful. The fact that this stuff was forbidden knowledge for a while, and I could watch anybody. I could talk about aliens, the moon, wisdom, knowledge, health, fruit, like every fringe thing that you could ever imagine is available. So be very careful as to what you intake and what we think we have to do. Because if you can shift your own matrix and really change what you intake, and that's my goal of the year, not only better diet and exercise, but knowing my body more, understand, because like they're even doctors, guys. Like I know the truth about my body, but it's like sometimes you want to go to a doctor, get a chiropractor, massage. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but like sometimes you could just relax for 5 minutes and start stretching, and that, like, I know all I do is work on the computer and cell phone. My back kills me, guys. It hurts. And but I know that. So it's like I'm just lying to myself. I won't say lying, but I'm neglecting myself. And when I just pause for 10-20 seconds, it's like I could do this any day. I work from home. I could stop whenever, and I do it. So it's like, that's my choice. I could cut 2 hours out of some other hobby that I'm doing and stretch for 30 minutes. It's nobody's fault but my own, but I could be like, it's the computer, it's the chair. But if I live right, and that's why I really do preach, and I mean it, change yourself to change the world. It's not a saying. It's not like a Hallmark card that I'm exaggerating or trying to be cheesy. It's so real. And the closer you get to yourself, the realer you can be to other people. And the less you lie to yourself and the more you really like get right internally, then it all flows out externally. So it's like, man, my main goal of the year, people always ask me like, what's this or that? I'm not worried about, like, I'll talk about other people, obviously, but my main focus is me. Like the people that spend the most energy, and this is why I tell right wingers as well who watch me, not just the left wing who have gotten awful, but right wingers as well. You might be right about policies and politics, and I appreciate you guys for that because you guys want to protect my freedom and my money. I love you guys for that. And when I say right wing, I know a lot of people say, not me. I get it. Trust me. Trust me. I talk to hippie right wingers. I talk to meditate. Like, I get you. You guys are so unique. You're all your own people. I'm just speaking in general to my people. A lot of people, they think they're helping because they're always mad at everyone else. But you got to understand, if you spend too much energy judging others and hating on others, you're not doing the world a service, really, at the end of the day. And you might, if you neglect your own habits too much, you become a problem. And a lot, like, so I'm like, hey, and people are like, no, we try. It's like, take a break, relax, focus on yourself, and don't spend too much energy. Because that's why I can't stand the modern day left wing. And I think a lot of right wingers agree with me on that. It's because they spent so much energy judging others and claiming virtue that they've lost all sense of reality. And it's not like a team thing where it's like, I'm right, you're wrong. Like, now you are, but it's just like the left wing. They used to be really good at science and tech, but now they're so crazy and they're so egotistical and they're so sure of themselves that they've lost science. Like, they're actually not even science anymore. So it's just a thought where I feel like people don't think that way. Chris Schuler said, talk about Venezuela, anomaly. I've been tuning out this weekend, but I'm not too familiar with what's going on there. Solitaire Bear said, in 10 minutes, you could probably brighten up the inner me. God bless you, Solitaire Bear. Solitaire is a fun game, man. That's back when times were simple. I'd play Minesweeper and Solitaire. So, yeah, I'll talk about Venezuela since you came with the rare super chat. I mean, to be honest, this stream is so much better and deeper than any sort of political analysis. Like, this is the stuff that doesn't get as many views, but this is what separates me from a lot of other news analysts. And this is honestly, regardless of me in general, this is the type of information and wisdom that is like much more important for every aspect of life rather than like my thoughts on politics. But Venezuela, I mean, they messed up, their economy screwed up, and everybody seems to want a piece of the pie. And I'll say one thing about Venezuela, and then I'm gonna move on. It's the only time when it's a regime change war or a foreign interference of sorts. It's the only thing that you'll see Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, but Mike Pence. It's the only thing that you'll see all of them say exactly the same. They can't agree on a single thing. They can't agree on the wall. They can't agree on the climate. They can't agree on the economy. But anytime it involves us getting involved with a foreign nation, you start seeing everybody tweet the same 3, 4, 5, 6 things. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's the only time. It's the only time it seems like they got a PR team like, we must do this there. Bernie and Trump and Nancy and Chuck and Bolton and such, they don't agree on anything but this type of stuff. Isn't that interesting? See what you guys are talking about in the comments section. But God bless you guys. I'm gonna stick around for a minute. I got some energy, but please hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stupid science versus smart science, root of the problem versus going on the surface, self-accountability, self-awareness, self-reflection over judgment, hate, and blame. And I just want to say too, a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying a lot, and they say, normally, no, I have to feel this way. But if like at the end of the day, I just don't believe in hating anybody. That's just how I feel. And if someone doesn't agree with me or they're doing the wrong thing, I want to help them. And if I can't help them, just don't mess my life up. You can't change everyone, but don't ruin my stuff. That's how I feel. But a lot of people are so hateful and negative and nasty where it's like, you're not first of all, you're never going to change them that way. That's going to make them further in their own ways. But also, it's bad energy. It's bad energy for you. It's bad energy for them. It roots, I believe hate and anger and judgment. I truly believe it roots from lack of self accountability, self awareness, and self responsibility. So, a lot of people, this transcends politics. What I'm talking about, it happens a lot on both sides. Is people think that they're so justified in their anger and their hate and their judgment, but when you really analyze it, you realize that the people doing that, they're not as together. It's not like, focus on yourself, because if you truly love yourself, if you believe in yourself, if you're happy, if you're, mentally stable, if you're aware of all of your sins and your flaws, and you're actively always trying to get better and learn and listen and grow, and you understand that process for yourself, there's not a lot of energy or room left to be that hateful or negative or nasty. So I personally, my own observation is, all of that stuff lacks, that stuff roots from own personal problems and neglecting your own internal problems. And a lot of people do a lot of things, and it's like they think I'm sure they're convincing a lot of people, but you're not convincing me. I hear what people say sometimes, but I don't. I also hear what they mean. And when what people say and what they mean are often two different things. So, if you get right, I don't see room for that. And I saw someone say something about the devil or Satan, but anger and fear and greed and all these, like, judgment, that's not, like, I'm not going to say that's the devil per se, but like, only God can judge. God can be the judge. The devil can have fear and anger and hate. Those are characteristics for him, but they serve no purpose. And if you let that into your life, it's like, it's just bad energy for you. And it's I don't find it even productive. Like I'm saying with the science stuff, what's the solution? So if you're, say, I'll just give an example. If you're a Trump supporter and you wanna red pill people and turn them into, you want them to not be such libtards, or you want them to realize what you're doing. So now you got to ask, what's your agenda? Is your agenda to just hate on them and make fun of them? Maybe it is. It's kind of childish, but to each their own. Maybe it's funny, or it is what it is. I got the NPC shirt on, so I'm not above memeing and joking, but shirt's hilarious. Right? I got so many NPCs, it's crazy. But like my goal, and I think what a lot of people's goal is unite the country and convince more people of the truth. Like, I don't want to hate people. I want them to stop being so dumb so the world could get better. So if that's the case, now you got to ask yourself, so how do I get to that point? How do I convince somebody that I'm right? How do I show them the light? How do I show them the truth? These are steps that a lot of people don't take. They don't actually have. So it's like, no matter if you're left wing, right wing, environmentalist, oil guy, or like whatever, it's like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to make money? Are you trying to knock people over? Did someone hurt you where you're mad at them now and you're trying to hurt them because you feel bad about yourself? Or are you genuinely trying to help people and be happy and save the country and save the world? They're all big tasks, but you got to be real with yourself. And I feel like a lot of people, they're on the root level where it's like, if you really want to change people, you could do that. And then, of course, you could have fun. You can make jokes and memes and just enjoy the chaos. That's cool too. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, think about it, because, these are things sometimes it is better to just throw up some memes too, and, have fun. Cause at the end of the day, it's like, you can't really change it. So some people, all they do is make fun of people and send memes, and look how many NPCs there are. There's so many. Maybe that's the right solution. Just enjoy yourself and laugh at it. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, think about it. That's all I'm saying. Because it's like, at the end of the day, they say ignorance is bliss. Although I wouldn't suggest being ignorant, but it's like, sometimes less is more. Some people delete social media. Some people don't. Just some things to think about. Jesse Clark said, I got to get you in a race truck. ESBfabrications.com. Shameless. I know. Love your work. It's not shameless. I mean, if you're going to super chat, you might as well get the question or the plug-in. So, man, I would love a truck. Honestly, eventually I just want like a Jeep or a truck. And I just want to I want to be either in the jungle or in the country at a certain point. I'm getting there. But thank you, Jesse. You can email me too. Send me some of your stuff because I'm not going to check out the website, but maybe other people will. See what else you guys are talking about. Someone said, "Do you know? So you know Roseanne Barr?" Yeah, I can't. I'm excited. First of all, Roseanne's her new Jesse Lee Peterson interview came out, and she gave me a shout out. Pretty cool. She was like, "Anomaly told me to go here." Because I sent her my Jesse Lee Peterson video, and she said, "Wow, that's funny. I want to go on Jesse Lee." So I set the whole interview up. Pretty crazy. And then I chill with Roseanne and her son. Ah man, Jake. If you guys don't know Jake Pentland, that's Roseanne's son. Follow him on Instagram. He's really funny. He's underrated, man. He's hilarious. Very anti-PC, but Roseanne's amazing too. Yeah, I did an interview with her yesterday, so that's gonna come out next week, hopefully, or maybe in 2 weeks. But Jake might send me the footage because he doesn't like to edit, so I might edit it. But yeah, I'm friends with Roseanne. Honestly, she's trying to she's trying to buy me clothes. She says I don't have style, so she's trying to like give me a makeover or something. I don't know, but yeah, she's great. We had a crazy discussion. Honestly, it's coming out soon. Roseanne goes deep, man. She's a matrix breaker, and she's next level. So yeah, she's a friend, and very, very intelligent woman. Very like totally I'm excited for you guys to see the chat we have. It's like it's one of the most next level chats I've had. She went in. Someone said the Roseanne JLP interview is great. She doesn't hold back. Roseanne's a special person, and I'm very blessed to have been connected with her, and I think she sees that in me too. But like, we need more matrix breakers, and Roseanne's somebody that like she's her. She loves her people. She has certain feelings and beliefs, but her core, like she's a truth seeker. And like the stuff we talked about, I can't wait for you guys to see. She touches on topics that no one would even dare go near. It's like they can't even, when we're talking about root level stuff, people talking here, I'm saying here, and Roseanne drops the conversation down here. Like she is not shy. And wow, I'm excited. Like she impressed me with our conversation. Thank you, Glenda. I appreciate it. Yeah. Make sure you guys follow Jake. I think if you search Jake Pentland, Pentland, that's Roseanne's son. Follow Jake on Instagram, Jake Pentland. He's so funny, honestly. He's a really good guy. I always tell Roseanne he should be a writer because he's got her humor, and he's super not PC, not politically correct. And he's just like a good guy, man. And I try to get good people out there because it's liars, and it's political correct liars who make everybody hate each other. And when you put political correct black puppets, people start disliking, the black community. When you have white puppets and Jewish puppets and puppets in our communities and people who are trying to stop speech, it makes people turn against each other. It makes these people not like these. But like when you get to like, if you get people like Roseanne and Jake and like, it makes people like, oh, okay, there's no such, like, if you're a good person and you're a truth seeker and you're realness transcends race, religion, and gender. It just does. I know people don't want to hear that, but it's like, man. And that's why even with my World Cloud page, I've promoted a lot of people, because it's like, if someone could show me that they're better and like have a message of truth, that's what's going to change the world. Because people are like, fine, like, all right, like, and we need good leaders in every community to like say, like Roseanne, when it comes to like the Jewish community and also the Hollywood community, the celebrity community, like everyone else is talking here, Roseanne is so like 1,000 times deeper. It's amazing. Like she's on a level. It's nuts what she was talking about when we talked. Like she's no joke. And it's sad that they just wrote her off like that. But that's what they do in society. I mean, look throughout history. I mean, even look now. The people who are the wisest and the deepest divers are getting deplatformed rapidly and looked down upon, and we all get the bad press. We get it. We know how it works. Let's see. Yeah, she might do stand up again. I think she's gonna start doing more stand up. But yeah, she's a real one, and she was the original woman and not the original, like maybe there were people in the 60s, 70s, but in her era, she was the funny non-PC woman. So people like Roseanne, and I saw someone mention Owen earlier, they don't really have an off button, you know? You're like, why don't they tone it down? But it's like, that's who would like them if they toned it down? That's why when people are like, why does Trump say that? It's like, because he's Trump. If Trump had an off button or a tone it down button, he wouldn't be Trump. So it's like, that's why I appreciate the Matrix breakers. I go, Mr. Unpopular. People are like, why do you like them? Why do you like them? I'm like, because they're entertaining, they're interesting, and they're a Matrix breaker. And you can't make someone else be who they're not. Like everyone's like, I don't want them to do that. I was like, well, that's why they're them and you're you. Someone said Marge Simpson's better. That's hilarious. I mean, Marge Simpson's not even real. Look at this shirt. This is so swanky. This is from Master Conspiracy on Instagram. Master Conspiracy. Check him out on Instagram. I think his Shopify store got closed down because he was doing a lot of QAnon stuff. So they're trying to crack down on that. So check him out, though. He had really cool stuff today, and I was talking to him, and he gave me this shirt for free. So I'm repping it and showing him love. Master Conspiracy on Instagram, but they shut him down. They shut him down on Spotify. They're shutting everyone down. Joe Zilla said, Anomaly, any comments on Kraft? Robert Kraft? Yeah, I read about it. I'm interested. I mean, I'm always skeptical of media stories, but I'll keep an eye on it. It's early on, and I see they busted some massage parlor and said it was a prostitution ring undercover. I'm interested to see where it goes because it's a possibility, obviously, that he's involved in something bad. But I just find it very suspicious as far as win the Super Bowl. He's the only guy who's pro-Trump, and then they're getting him for like a massage parlor cover-up. It could be, but I'm easing in on it, like the Jussie Smollett situation, because a lot of times in my experiences, the media story is always like the distraction. Where it's like, I don't want to name names, but a lot of these big stories of the last 2 years, they're only like 1/80th as bad as what some people are doing. And they'll talk about it for 2 years and you'll never get to the worst stuff. So, I mean, I went down a few rabbit holes that no one's gone down. And I'll give you an example. The Bill Cosby situation. I did a poll on my page and I said, how many people think Bill Cosby's guilty? And it was like 80%, 85% said Bill Cosby was guilty. And then I said, how many people read what he was charged for? And it was like 20 to 30%. So most people thought he was guilty, but they had no idea what he got charged for. And if you actually read the charges, which I did for Bill Cosby, all of the bad press, it was kind of like a Kavanaugh situation before a Kavanaugh situation where I'm once again, hear out what I'm saying, because it's different from that in the sense of, there are more people involved, but it's not what the media says. Like when it comes to the court, what they're supposed to be, what the trial is supposed to be on is what is in the court. So all of the Cosby stories were all stories in press and media, but the main thing he got charged on was one event where the woman involved, I read all her testimonies and stuff, and I read what it's about. Her story, just to be honest, her story changed like 2 or 3 times. She said he gave them pills and she took them, and then he said they were these, and in one magazine she said they were another. So her story wasn't even adding up. But the reason they charged him was because, in my belief, is that the media surrounding, they were like, he's a rapist, he's raped 100 people. And I'm once again, I'm not saying that he didn't. There's a strong possibility that he's a really bad guy and he did a lot of bad stuff. But as a judge, you're not ruling based on what the media says and what everyone thinks. You have to rule on what the case is at hand, and what Cosby got charged for based on his case absolutely made no sense. And no one wants to say that. And also no one did the research to say that, but I did. And I could tell you that it didn't actually make sense as far as what he got charged for. And that's why, I mean, a lot of like media situations, if the evidence, there's so many unpopular ones I want to say right now, but like you read what all the media says, you hear all the allegations, and then you see the actual case, and then they have to like they're trying to charge you because they caught. Give you another example. Martin Shkreli, he's a big pharmacy guy, pharma bro or whatever. He had an AIDS pill that he boosted up the price, and he got all the bad press. But then he was explaining, he's like, listen, I'm not the only one who does this. It's the whole pharmacy industry, and a lot of it is a fiduciary duty as far as to your stockholders. Like, you have to boost up the price. It's a really corrupt system. But point being, it's not just Martin Shkreli who's doing it. It's the whole pharmacy industry. The whole thing's bad. He started talking about Hillary doing stuff, and they charged him, sent him to prison because he was threatening her with like getting a strand of hair. Anyway, he ended up getting charged for a scam, but it was a scam where no one lost money. They all made money. So it's like it just seems to me like I'm not saying that like I'm not saying Bill Cosby didn't do anything or Martin Shkreli didn't do anything, but it seems to me like with these big stories, the media always scapegoats somebody, talks about them for 3 years, throws them under the bus, and then acts like the problem went away when that doesn't even scratch the surface of the problem. That's not even close to the craziest thing that's going on. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. But I'm full of unpopular opinions. It seems to be not a lot of people really do a lot of research or will talk about this stuff. See what you guys are talking. Someone said you don't play ball with the deep state, they'll ruin your life. I mean, there's levels to everything. That's why I just pray, and I'm grateful because like this world is very crazy. It's all internet, phones, governments, secret societies, pharmacy. Like there's so much stuff going on. It's like, man, I just feel grateful to be able to do what I do and show love and try to help. Let's see what you're talking about. The left have to invent hate crimes to fit their narrative. Yeah, the Jussie Small thing was a little cray cray. Good morning, Franklin from the UK. UK, wake up. Wake up. I have a song, it's called Wake Up, Bake Up, Get Your Cake Cut Today. It's an old song. Someone said Martin Shkreli bought the Wu-Tang album. Yeah, he did. But they ended up making him sell it. So it's like, dude, Shkreli, they came for Shkreli pretty heavy. Ray C. Bob Ross in Iowa. God bless you, brother. See what y'all are talking about. Any questions? Because I'll chill for a minute. I got some time. I could stay for like a half hour or so. And then people say, normally I don't have time to watch all your live streams or they're too long. But I was like, I get it. If you watch it later, you're like, oh my God, it's a 2 hour live stream. But while we're in it, it's fun for everyone here, right? Like it's like I could leave now and make it shorter, but I like to stay and it's fun. And then if people don't want to watch the whole thing, it's like just watch a half hour or something. It's all good. Inter in, Intermediary Joe said, "Yo, I am a leftist and I'm down to debate." Hey Joe, send me an email and send me some links to some stuff you do, and let me know. We'll see what we can do because I do want to have a leftist debate. Someone was hitting me up. I know there's one guy who was here and he wanted his friend to debate me. I forget his name exactly, but I saw some of the videos and I'm not gonna lie, I'll debate. Like I want to debate somebody, but I was just like, it wasn't that I was hating or it's bad, but I was like, I do what I'm interested in. Like Nuance Bro, I had a debate with him. We were texting or twittering for a while and it was boring me. But then like I sparked, I was like, let me do it. Great debate. Thank you, Nuance Bro, for being here. But like there's a leftist that I was just like, nah, I don't feel it. So if you send me your links and I like some of the stuff, I'll do it. But I kind of go with how I feel. And it's not like, oh, I don't want to debate, but like some people, I've had some weird situations where I want somebody that's really got at least some stuff going and some intriguing arguments. Yeah, dude, the Nuance Bro debate was great. People were hating on Nuance, but like, dude, everything happens for a reason. If he didn't come on, even if you like what I said more than what he said, he made it happen. Like it's you can't hate on my boy, my bro. Any comments on 6G? Nah, I don't know. I don't know that 5 and 6G. Yeah, I don't know that much about it. I don't know enough about it to really weigh in on it. I understand that people are saying it's really harmful, and it's funny. Trump said we need to get 5 and 6G, and then I'm sure a lot of like people were like, "Oh no, Trump's for 5G." I can't tell. I've heard all the theories around it, but I'll tell you what. Here's my thought. We're going into some crazy times, whether 5G is as damaging as they say or not. You gotta. That's why I'm talking about these live streams. You gotta be mentally strong. We're going into some territory that's gonna break some mentally weak people. So 5G, 6G. One, I'm trying to be as mentally strong as possible because I think there's even radio frequency waves now that are not that healthy, but not only am I trying to power through it, but I also got these. Let me know if you guys think these work. I bought one just in case, but apparently these are supposed to stop EMF waves or whatever, electromagnetic frequency waves. So I bought two of these to put on my computer, and I'll buy more if I think they work. But I'm just stacking up and doing what I can mentally and spiritually to try to stay healed. Because someone said red elephants or black pilled. I've never heard black pilled, but red elephants are great, honestly. So I heard red elephants a little bit, and I'd see their stuff on Twitter sometimes, and I retweet. And then some like crazy far leftists came all mad at me, and they're like, "Anomaly, you're working with Roger Stone, and you're a Nazi because you associate with the red elephants." And I was like, "Dude, I've never met the red elephant." He's like, "Dude, you're best friends with Vince," and I was like, "Dude, I've never met Vince." I retweeted him like twice, and I had these weird far leftists like being all weird to me. Say, I met Roger Stone at an event, and we took a picture. Like I don't know him. People are like, "Oh, Anomaly, you got to meet Roger Stone." I take a picture, and people are like, "Anomaly's working for Roger Stone." No, I seen him one time, and he told me to fix my suit, and I was like, "All right, this guy's all right." Anyway, so after that whole situation, I was like, And then I've watched Red Elephants recently. To me, I don't know what they consider red elephants, whether the right or the left, but to me, people like the red elephants make more sense than a lot of mainstream conservatives. Like science wise and just like to the point wise, they do really great work. And it's like to anybody on the left that hates on them or hates on me for liking them, do better videos and show me why you're better than Vince from Red Elephants. It's like I don't know. People like some right wingers don't like them, and some left wingers try to like pressure me into not liking them. Like you're not allowed to retweet him. I'm like, why? I retweet Malik Obama every day. He said Peter Pipe to pickle peppers, and but yeah, Vince does really good stuff, man. I haven't seen all his videos, but he seems like he gets it, as far as like what's going on. And he's filled with unpopular things to say, but I like that stuff, man. Like I don't like basic stuff. Like I'm bored with like I know I want to learn something. I don't want to hear the same thing. Someone said blue dolphins are good too. That's hilarious. Anomaly, what topics interest you most if we were to debate? I want to do a climate change debate. I want to do a climate change debate and also maybe like progressive to libertarian style debate. And here's the thing, Joe. I talked to Roseanne recently, and she believes in like she actually likes universal health care. So like I'm not saying I'll agree with that, but it's not just like like we're not. I don't want to yell at each other or anything. Just intellectual debate, and hopefully we can agree on some things. Because I actually saw my friend today. He's more progressive, but it's like I'm trying to. Even with progressives, we can debate. I want to debate about climate change and stuff, but hopefully we could come to some solutions too. Because like when it comes to environmentalism, I'm trying to get like air purifiers and clean the ocean. So it's like we can debate, discuss anything, but then it's like let's try to figure out something we can actually work together on. Because a lot of this politics stuff we're fighting over things that we're never going to change. So I'd rather like we can do that, but then I want to work towards a solution and see if we can bring people together and actually like make something physical or at least realistic that actually helps the world. So a gun control debate, yeah, that could be interesting too. I mean, I would love to do a climate change. You know who I want to do a climate change debate with? I think his name is Eric Weinstein or Brett Weinstein. I don't know, one of the brothers. I want to debate him because he's like progressive, but like intellectual dark web. He won't answer my email, but I want to debate him on that. My email, it's at my website, legendary.vision. So if you go to my website, legendary.vision, you'll find it. Let me see. I don't know who Marcus Conti is. I see your comments are saying Anomaly Marcus Conti. I don't know who that is. Anomaly, any comments on Owen versus Rogan feud or Alex Jones versus Rogan feud? I've mentioned it before, so Imma just leave it out. You know, I'm not I'm we're talking about other stuff today, so I've mentioned stuff before. Have you ever considered call-in shows for fans to talk to you? Yeah, I mean, like today I was talking to Jimmy Church. I got the Fade to Black hat on. Shout out Jimmy Church, but he does work with Coast to Coast Radio, and I've been connected with a lot of radio people. But here's the thing, even now, it's like this is kind of right. It's like calling in, but I'm reading your comments. So, this is the new wave, and a lot of people have terrestrial radio, which is great, but it's like so much more work. It's a lot more work where it's like I could just read your comment now. It's easier. And to be honest, a lot of people like terrestrial radio is awesome, but the social media stuff seems to be the wave. So Eric Dubé, I've only heard about him from Eric from what's it Owen's live streams. Who's Eric Dubé? I just always hear Owen say his name. I don't know that much about him. Someone said, "Have you seen Brandon Tatum or Jericho Green?" I don't know who Jericho Green is, but yeah, Brandon Tatum. I've seen him. I promoted his videos early on when he was just starting, and recently. But I've also met Brandon a few times. Good guy. All right, I'll answer you. Bro, you're persistent. I like it. SJG Perspective. He said, "Anomaly, did you get my tweet about the Jussie Smollett parody song?" Yeah, I saw your tweet like 5 times. But I like your persistence. I haven't listened to it, my man. I've been busy all weekend, so I didn't hear the song. I'll try to listen sometimes. Oh, someone said Eric Dubé's the flat Earth Pope. Interesting. I don't know if the Pope is someone to strive for, but well, not this Pope. But anyway, I mean, maybe I'll talk to Eric Dubé. Here's the thing, though. I'm not like I realize that I won't say I'm crazy, obviously, but I was at the Conscious Life Expo and I'm talking to people who believe in aliens, and I'm like crazier than they are. Like they're like, like I'm open. So it's like I'm listening, I'm learning, and I'm going where the evidence is. So I'm not as closed off as a lot of people. Like I'm intrigued. Even the flat earth debate, a lot of people just laugh it off, but arrogance does not equal intelligence. And people are getting to. Oh, I'd love to talk to Eddie Bravo. He actually answered me a couple years ago, but we never linked up. But yeah, it's like that, dude. I think the shape of the Earth and space and stuff. It's very interesting to me. I'm a listener, so a lot of people expect me to be like, oh, like there's no like if someone brings up flat Earth, people will say that's fake, that's stupid. Like there's no intelligence in like condemning. It's like I condemn that senator. It's like, wow, you're such a good person because you condemned that. Like that's our society. We're so fake that we think there's like virtue or skill in condemning. So with the flat earth and space stuff, everyone's like, we condemn that. It's like that doesn't disprove it. So I've listened to Stefan Molyneux debate a flat earther, and it was interesting. I think there's a lot of open holes in a lot of stories. So I'll tell you what. Here's the one thing I will say. Yeah, you could tell them to message me. I'll say this. Flat if I know there's probably some flat earthers who watch my stream. Here's a word of advice that no one's going to give you because everyone is just mean to you and makes fun of you. You got to rebrand. Honestly, I should be the social media manager for Flat Earth, even though it's not my thing. You got to rebrand because Flat Earth sounds stupid. It sounds like flat, and then everyone's like, "Oh, it's flat." What you guys believe is like the B.O.B. album cover. It's like a dome, right? Isn't that what you guys believe? You don't think it's flat per se. You don't think it's you don't think it's a circular round. You think it's like ground, firmament, or whatever you call it. And then wait, is my sound fine? I might have hit my thing. But then you think it's like a dome, like a snow globe type. So why would you call it flat earth instead of like dome or globe or snow globe or something? It's just bad. It's bad branding. So you kind of don't do yourself any service by calling yourself flat earth. So if you wanna up your branding a little bit, I'm helping you guys out. Someone said thoughts on climate change. I just talked about it. That was like the whole talk, but I'm sorry, you probably just got here. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm like, Dude, you shouldn't. You're like, I just got here. Don't yell at me. Someone said nipple earth. Would you rap on a beat produced to you? I'm kind of busy in the sense of like, I'm not just gonna rap on any beat sent to me probably now. Someone said, "Do you think that climate change could be good for the life forms on Earth? Plants eat carbon and the animals eat plants. Everyone's happy." Thoughts? Um, yeah, I mean, the climate's definitely changing. Climate's always changed. 4 seasons. It's gonna shift. It's hard to tell what's good and bad and what helps and hurts, but I don't think we're in control. And also, I mean, I think we should do more planning as far as like, I don't know, just the whole trajectory of how we handle climate change and how we handle everything. I just feel like it's not very productive. We're not really working together and we're not creating solutions. So, for sure, yeah, certain changes could be really beneficial, but it would take us really researching and trying to learn and then also trying to create, which no one unfortunately seems like they're trying to do. Someone said, "Saw you at Conscious Life Expo." All right, shout out Ray. What's up? I got my head on. Yeah, I had a fun time, except for honestly, I guess I'll tell you guys the story now. I got assaulted by a massage chair lady. I have it on my phone. I have the footage. Like literally, I could probably sue her, but I won't. So I'm at Conscious Life Expo, and there's these massage chairs. First of all, the one massage chair, the guy knew me. I sat there for like 20 minutes, talked to him. He was really nice. He knew my videos. But there's like three massage chairs. So I'm sitting in one for 3 minutes. In the late, I close my eyes when I'm getting massaged because I don't know. I enjoy myself. I like to get massages and I like to like relax and focus. So I'm doing this, and this lady starts screaming at me, and she's like, "Get out of the chair! You're falling asleep. Go, like, get out, go away!" Like yelling at me. I was like, "I'm not sleeping. It's a massage chair. I'm getting a massage." So I'm like, I'm really taken back because she just screams in my face. She doesn't say, "Hey, please get up. There's another customer. Or you've been here too long," which I wasn't, but she just yelled at me. So I was filming the whole day. So I started filming and I was like, this lady's really rude. I was like, she just screamed at me and said I was falling asleep in the chair when I wasn't. I'm not like a transient or like like I'm like, no, I'm just sitting here. So I'm filming and I'm just like filming the thing. And she runs up to me and she smacks my hand and knocks my phone out of my hand and like hits and like just starts pushing me. I was like, what are you doing? And then the security came to me. This is, keep in mind, we're at a we're at a conscious life expo. It's literally a spiritual conscious life expo. It's like an alien farmer market at a massage chair. And this lady's assaulting me. And then the security comes up to me and acts like it's my fault. And I was like, woman, I have it on video. It's pretty hilarious. You see her hit me and I start screaming. I'm like, hey, I could literally probably sue her and get her fired, but I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I was like, I thought they were going to kick me out of the Conscious Life Expo. I was like, man, and I don't know, you guys probably don't know me personally because I'm just on here, but like, I'm seriously extremely respectful. Like when I'm in a massage chair or anything, if someone comes up and wants to, like, I'm not someone to hog anything. I'll be like, hey, do you want to use this? Do you want to sit here? Do you want me to leave? Like, I'm so respectful and nice. I really am. So she could have just said anything and I would have moved, but she just started screaming at me saying I was falling asleep. I was like, it's a massage chair, dude. She's so mean, man. It's nasty. I almost said the B word, but I didn't. SJG Perspective said, it's pretty funny though. I might upload it tomorrow because I just get hit by this lady. Um, she's lucky I have a good phone case because she could have broke my phone, but I have like a case you could drop it from like 15 feet. It won't shatter. SJG Perspective said, thanks for the shout out anomaly. You will laugh your ass off if you know the tune Jesse's Girl from the 80s. Yeah, I know the tune Jesse's Girl. Should we play it? Should we go play your song now since you're Trailblazer Bear? She hates Jesus and you look like you triggered her. LOL. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she really hates Jesus and she took it out on me. Honestly, someone like that needs to find Jesus for sure. Brother, the guy who has the remix, sorry. Tweet me the remix again. I know you already did it 4 times, but do it a 5th time. Tweet me the remix. I'll play it now for everyone since you this is a lesson. I mean, now people are gonna probably just spam me with stuff, but persistence does pay off. Tweet me your remix. Let's see. And I'll play it for everybody. And energy remix. Is that it? Jesse, you tweeting it to me? You got like a minute. Tweet me the link now at Twitter, and I'll play it. If you drop the ball, it's over. Hey, peace, brother. Thank you for reading him. What's going on? Let's set our sights high and go fund me a flat earther to jump. No. Well, first of all, that's why I don't hate on it, because there's there's two different theories. There's like people like Jordan Sather and like a lot of QAnoners. They think that there's a secret space program. And flat earthers think the earth is flat. And like the QAnoners and Jordan Sathers and alien people, they don't think it's a globe earth, but they do think there's a secret space program. Point being is, the reason I don't laugh at anybody or I'm not mean is because there's one thing that's pretty clear to me from all of their theories is like Antarctica is very sketchy. You can't really go to Antarctica, and you can't really go past certain points. So instead of making fun of or like hating on them, that, I like to learn. So it's like, I don't have to agree with everything to be like, you know what, instead of hating or saying it's dumb, why don't we try to figure out what's in Antarctica, or like, why, how come if like, but also I do want to say too, B.O.B. did a GoFundMe. He was trying to build his own rocket so he could see how high he could go. Dude, when it comes to space and stuff, there's so many holes. Someone was telling me today, we haven't gone past like 250 miles or something. I don't know what the number is, but like say like the moon was like I don't know how many thousands of miles, tens of hundreds of thousands of miles. I don't know. But he said like since then, we haven't even gone 250 miles north. I don't think we can really go that far. Like people are like, why haven't they gone to space? There's the point I'm getting at is I don't know what's going on particularly, and I'm not it's not my main thing to figure out. I'm not that interested in it. But one thing is clear to me is like the whole narrative is a total lie. So it's like people are like, duh. I'm like, yeah, it's not like you can make fun of me or something, but I know it's a lie, and I'm not sure what's going on, but it's not like worth my time. All right, this is this guy. He said Jesse's boy. He has a Jesse Smollett tribute song. He tweeted me 3 times. It was kind of annoying me, but he was really nice and respectful here, and he super chatted. So we're gonna play it because that's what happens when he wasn't ever mean about it, and he sold me on it. That's a good sale. You're a good salesman. Here it is. I got you.
Jesse's got some friends with some MAGA hats bleached intertwined. And the waiting out and out because he ain't too hard to find, because he's gonna get into a humongous freaking bind. And they're watching him leave Subway, and they're waiting for that spot without cameras, I know it. And they're staging this hoax late at night. It's a fake hate crime by Jesse's boys. A fake hate crime by Jesse's boys. What can I find a dream like that?
He said, where can I find dreams like that? That's the best line so far. Let's go.
Just wanted his salary to change. We felt jealous because Terrence Howard got paid more to do a temper tantrum, so they showed him the door. So we thought he concocted a lie. The media would push his narrative, he just knows it. So he called 911 late at night.
It's good, brother.
It's a fake hate crime by Jesse's boys. A fake hate crime by Jesse's boys. Where can I find a dream like that? Jesse's boys. A fake hate crime by Jesse's boys. Where can I find a dream like that?
That's a good one.
Where can I find a dream like that?
That's good.
I do not believe that. It's truth. Jesse has lost. He's lost the fight in the court of law.
CNN, CBS, NBC.
My man. Well done. You're right. I just retweeted it on Twitter now. That's a W. I retweeted it for you too. That's funny. He said, "Where can I find Nigerians like that?" That's good. Well done, brother. That's how you get it done. That's creative. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the Don Lemon, bro. It's so funny. These people. When Trump tweeted Don Lemon, he said he was low IQ, and I was like, "Why did Trump say that?" I was like, "Duh, Trump shouldn't have said that." But then I watched Don Lemon talk to LeBron James, and I felt like it was that Adam Sandler thing where they're like, "I got dumber just by listening to you guys." You remember that from from Billy Madison? He's like, "Everyone in the like everyone's cheering." And he's like, "Everyone in the room just got dumber by listening to what she said." He was like, "Not only do you get no points, but like God rest your soul," something like that. That's how I felt listening to LeBron, and I like LeBron, but it's like, dude, listening to LeBron and Don Lemon, I got dumber. Literally, like my IQ dropped like 5 points. I was like, oh, now I get why Trump said he's low IQ because he is. I get it. Intermediary Joe said, anomaly, how knowledgeable are you on topics like climate science, healthcare, economics? Have you spent a lot of time studying these subjects? I would say climate science. I'm if you wanna debate, I'm most interested in climate science, and that's more interesting to me. As far as how knowledgeable I am, it's debatable. I mean, knowledge and wisdom are like even this whole my whole video was basically about smart science and stupid science. There's people who can study for 50 years and they study the wrong thing, so they're not really smart. There's a difference between book smart and intelligence, and there's a difference between wisdom and knowledge and like fake science. So I would say pretty knowledgeable, but I can't say I've spent 20 decades. But if you really want to debate me on these topics, I think the big especially climate change, what would be the most beneficial is the questions I ask, because I'm going to ask questions that no one else asks, and I'm going to bring up data no one else data. I've talked to, I mean, I don't want to ruin it, but at this point, he won't answer my email, so I don't care. It was Brett or whatever Weinstein. Was it Brett Weinstein or Eric Weinstein? I was at a Dave Rubin show and I asked him a question about climate change and he answered, and I asked him off like basically after the show, and he said to me, he said, you might be right. Like, he's all pro climate change. I asked a bunch of questions no one ever asked about climate change, and he said they lie about, like, he basically was like, they lie about so much education. So many of the education paperwork and studies are such lies. He said you might be right, but he's never said that like, he's never said that as far as to like he's never told people like, hey, climate change, it might all be not real, but he said that to me. So I would like to debate him or anyone else. So that's the point I'm getting. I'm going to ask questions. I know a lot, but I don't know. There's people who study science for 50 years and they're idiots. Jesse's girl. That's going to be stuck in my head now. All right. Might answer one or two questions and we'll roll out. So it's not too long. Dang, it's already been 2 hours. That's crazy. Hold on. All right, I'll answer you, brother. Since Dave said, you blocked me on Twitter because I said that it was not in your character to lash out at the girl who said your long hair was hurting your sex life. You asked what was that mean? I responded and you blocked. All right, yeah, I'll answer that, Dave. So I block people who annoy me, not necessarily who question me. So I made a joke. I guess I was out and some girl was like, it's not hurting my sex life, or she didn't say that. So this is why I block people. It's a good example. When you misframe what's going on, then you get blocked. If like that's what you just said happens, not what happened, and that's why I block people who just lie about stuff. So it's not particular what happened. Her friends were, she was just basically like, my friends would like you more. It had nothing to do with sex life. It was like a specific topic. Anyway, I made a joke and I said, "Was that mean?" So then you didn't say, "Yeah, that was mean," or "That wasn't mean." You said, "It's not in your character to lash out at the girl who said your hair is long." So it's just kind of annoying. I guess that's why I blocked you. It's not that you're questioning me, or you're saying it's out of your character. So it's just to me, that's why like it's just a misframe of the situation. Like first you're saying, you know my character. Second of all, you're saying it's out of my character to lash out. I don't know that it is. I'm pretty blunt. I'm pretty funny. And I think those things were I think it was pretty blunt and funny. And honestly, I think it was beneficial to someone, now there's a lot of really nasty girls out there. I've met some recently where like they're super rude and nasty and like sometimes they need to be told like I'm very kind and nice where it's like you're being too nasty and sometimes they need to like be challenged a little. So you could have had an opinion without you're out of character. Like, that's like, dude, you're blocked. Sorry. That's probably why you got blocked. It's just like the way you framed it's just a little weird. That's it. You don't have to say it's nice or mean, but I said it was not mean. I don't know. Maybe it was a misunderstanding, but it's like I don't know. I'm not. Maybe I should have just never tweeted it, but I guess I just read it and it's like it's out of your character to do something like that. It's like not really. It's not that serious. So you asked, was that mean? I think it was maybe a misunderstanding, Dave. I don't know, because honestly, a lot of the things I'm not even that concerned about, but it's like some people I guess just annoy me and I block them, and maybe I thought it was annoying. Sorry. Yeah, you're here. It's okay. Twitter's overrated. I get it. I get you said it in a nice way, but even now, this is what I've talked about on here too. My pet peeve is like people who are like backhanded complimenting and like acting like they're like concerned trolling where like I'm worried about you. So you're like, I'm being nice. I'm just telling you it's out of your character, but I'm agreeing with you. No, it's right, but it's out of your character. Like that's probably why you got blocked. I'm like, you're blocked. Like just say something. Don't be like, I'm concerned about you. I agree with you, but it's out of your character. Like at that point, it's just kind of like it's just getting weird. Can you unblock Dave? Yeah, if he gives me his thing, I'm sure I can unblock him. But you know, you guys get what I'm saying or no? Am I off top? It's like just say what you're saying. I don't get the like. No, I'm agreeing with you. It's out of your character. I don't. It's like now it's becoming like it's just like you know. I don't get it. I still don't. He's a day winner. What's your Twitter? I'll try to unblock you, but I guess I don't know. Sean Becker said, I apologize for the comments about Zionists that offended you. I don't know what you're even talking about. Comments about Zionists don't offend me, but when people accuse me of being a Zionist shill or something, it's annoying. I don't like you guys are bringing up things I don't even remember. I'm sorry. I don't know. I could if you give me your Twitter, I could probably unblock you, but I don't know. I do this type of stuff, and then people do the same annoying thing like 5 times, and they'll be like, "What? I didn't do it. I just poked you and said you did it, but you didn't do it." But it's like, ugh. Like I have to. I read like so many tweets and comments. It's just like some parties. You're just like, I don't want to be here anymore. It's like that's just how I feel. It's like I get so much stuff where it's like sometimes it's like nah, I'm out. It's not a party I want to be at. But there's a possibility I misconstrued. I'm content to be an anomaly march. No, Dave, it's not that serious. I don't I don't want you to go down the ranks. You're here, so I appreciate that. I don't know. I blocked I blocked someone on Twitter on Facebook one time. Some woman, I'm literally live streaming and she says, Anomaly, you look tired, like you look tired, go rest. And I just woke up from a nap. I blocked her. Like it wasn't necessarily that she said something mean, it was just annoying. And it's like I don't need people to tell me to take a nap. It was just weird. I was like, you're banned. And then someone was like, Anomaly, that's my wife. She's just really concerned about you. And it's like, I'm fine. Like if I come on stream and I'm bleeding from head to toe, and I'm like, guys, help me, they're after me. Then like you can be concerned and be like, Anomaly, we're gonna call you help. But if I just woke up from a nap, I feel amazing. And maybe the lighting or my eyes are a little red based on the time and the day or something. And you're like, Anomaly, I'm so concerned about you. Anomaly, you don't look good. Anomaly, take a nap. You look terrible. It's like, you're gonna get banned. And then I had to unban her because like her husband was mad. It's just like, you feel me? It's just like, I read so many comments and certain people, I'm just like, I don't want you here anymore. But then like the husband's like, we're huge fans. Then I'm like, all right, you could stay. I'm sorry. It's just a little annoying. Anomaly, I'm so worried about you. It's out of your character. It's not like you. It's not like you to be hilarious and say, I've had girls will be mean to me and like no one tells them that they're mean and they're used to just walking all over people. So I'll be like, listen, your time is up. Same with this lady at the massage chair. I was like, do you treat everybody like this? You're really nasty. And then she knocked my phone out of my hand. And someone would be like, Anomaly, that's out of your character to tell her she's nasty. But it's like, it's really not. Like some people need to hear because they're so used to just stomping all over people in their whole life. And it's like, I don't care that you're a girl. I'm like, is this how you treat people? This is insane. Like, you could treat me like this, and maybe you treat guys who are broken like that, and they think it's okay. And like some people want people who are broken, and they want people who are flawed, so they can do bad things to them, and they put up with it because they need help. Like, and I don't need help specifically. So when people do that to me, I'm like, whoa, 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 like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I don't operate like this. You feel me? Is that making sense? I'll unblock you on Twitter though, Dave. I feel bad now, but someone said you should comb your hair. Valid. Yeah, I probably should, but honestly, I'm gonna cut it soon because it's getting annoying. My hair's so thick. Like you don't understand how thick. Like everyone touches my hair and they're like, "Oh my god, it's thick." It would take me an hour to comb. It's like it never stops. And then I move my hair, and it's I'm not I'm not a I'm not a celebrity in the sense of like I don't even care that much. Like I'm not at a show where they do makeup and they brush the hair. Like you get what you get with me because I edit videos. I'll stream 4 hours a day and do like 3 hours of editing. I'm gonna look weird sometimes. You just gotta deal with it. People are like, your hair's doesn't look right. I'm like, I edit, I manage, like no one does everything I do. If I brushed my hair and I cared about looking cool, this is the coolest I've ever looked probably because I was actually out today in public. But I don't dress up for the camera that much, honestly. I just wear my robe. But it's like if I dressed up and I combed my hair and I brush it and comb it and shower. I'm pretty clean. But like if I cared about my appearance so much, I wouldn't have this much content. I'd have to make like 4 videos a week. So I'd rather look weird and do like 10 videos. Someone should dread it. I just want to cut it soon. Brother, what's your Twitter? I wanna unblock you. I feel bad now. But don't concern troll me anymore. Don't be concerned about my character for a joke. I'd meant to make a joke, but maybe I guess I asked people for I get it. Could have been a misinterpretation. Someone said my production team is LOL. I am the production team. I'm the whole squad. So it's like most people they have makeup artists. Like they literally like anytime when I went to the Daily Wire, and first of all, thank you to the Daily Wire. Claven's the man. Should support Claven. He's the man. But they did make like when I go to places, they do makeup. Like they were like they put stuff on my face. And then like they brushed my hair, which was tight. But like or I brushed my hair. They gave me a hairbrush. And then I learned about new hairbrushes, but like, yeah, a lot of it's like makeup. I don't put makeup on, but I do, and they make me. Anomaly is cool peoples. He does. I'm reading this comment by the way. I'm not talking in third person. Control Alt Delete. Anomaly is cool people. He doesn't like the toxicity of people who follow Q and the Q scream, but respects the Q posts themselves. Hey, I'll tell you what. I've said because a lot of Q people say I'm an agent and a liar because they misconstrue me. I've never hated on Q posts. I've questioned them, and that's fine. And I've said I'm not sure how I feel about certain things. But what I've always said is with Q, people keep asking, so I'm going to repeat it so you understand. I've never had a problem with Q's posts. I really do from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate the Q research team. I think the Q research team is very important and it's very powerful. What I've said is a lot of the top Q researchers annoy me. Not Q. People who interpret him annoy me. And they've made me uninterested in it because they're so annoying and judgmental and egotistical and hateful. And I understand because a lot of them, and I've interviewed them. I've talked to Jordan Sather, Praying Medic, and they do great work, both of them. However, Praying Medic admitted to me that he's never heard of conspiracies before this, which is fine. But I've been down rabbit holes for a decade, which is fine. But it's like a lot of the Q people, they think like they're the only ones doing research because Q's the best and everyone else sucks. Like, it's annoying. Like Q does amazing research. He's diving down rabbit holes that no one's dived down in a while. But at the same time, David Icke, Alex Jones, Robert Anton Wilson, they're not the be all end alls, but there's a lot of people who've dove down these rabbit holes before. So it's like some of the Q people, they take all the great Q information and they're like, we're the best and everyone else sucks. But here's the thing. Without Robert Anton Wilson, there is no people. Without Alex Jones, whether you guys like it or not, whether you think Alex is a shill or not, or he's not going far enough down the rabbit hole, without Alex Jones, there is no Trump. Alex helped Trump win. Alex helped awaken a lot of people. And then people take Alex's information and his wisdom, including myself. Alex, before QAnon existed or any of these people who hate on everybody, Alex was talking about this stuff decades ago. I learned, and then I dove down my own rabbit holes thanks to Alex. He didn't go maybe as far as some people want him to go, but he started it and got people interested just like Q did. And then people do their own thing. So my problem is not with Q posts. I actually met somebody today, the Deep State Project. He's cool, and there's really great stuff on there. My problem's never been with the Q posts. My problem's been with all the people who are like cult-like obsessed and creepy over the Q posts. They're so annoying. You get it? So it's not, I've never hated on that. I've just said I'm skeptical about certain things. I feel like people give him too much credit in certain elements. I've said that the fortune cookie way of speaking is a very wise way to create hype around it. Like, it's all great marketing. But my number one concern is the people who don't just take his information and learn. And there's so much ego there. And these people say, oh, I'm not egotistical, but they're like, I'm the best. No one else, like Praying Medic was like, no one else does research like me. They've never been effective. It's like, dude, you just found out about this stuff 2 years ago and you're acting like you're the greatest thing to ever touch the face of the earth. It's a little bit annoying, where it's like, he's like, I hate, like, he's stomping on people who paved the way for him. And just because he found out about Q a year ago, he thinks it gives him authority to, like, to poop on everybody else who's literally paved the way for it to exist. With no other people, there wouldn't be a Trump. So it's like, without Trump, there's probably not a Q. So it's like, you got to respect the legends before you. You have to understand everybody's not going to go as far as you, and that's okay. But you can't disrespect the people who've inspired you and inspired the movement. So that's what's bothered me about the Q movement. People don't understand that. But I had a great conversation with the Q guy today, the Deep State Mapping Project, Master Conspiracy on Instagram. Really smart guy. Roseanne is really into the Q stuff. And, and like, we have our debates and discussions on it. It's valid, authentic information. When people do research and then find out real things, I love the research aspect of Q. What's wrong with that? They're diving down rabbit holes. They're learning stuff. And honestly, they're connecting dots that a lot of people aren't. But here's the thing. There's other people connecting dots, and that's okay. They could both exist, but it's like the Q people have gotten too culty. Not everyone, not you guys, obviously, and some people because you're here, but some of them, they're like, we're the best, you're the worst, and if you don't agree with everything, then we say you're a Mossad agent. It's so douchey and corny, and then they're like, oh my God, he said a big thing's happening today, and it happened today. It's like, dude, are you really that foolish? Like, something big happens every day. So it's like, they can't separate the truth and the wisdom and the authentic information from, like, the culty, creepy, like, egotistical, I'm the greatest and everyone else is a shill. You feel me? That's the part that is so annoying. It's so cringy that it's like, once again, it's like a party that I don't want to join. Because a lot of this stuff, just going to be honest, like, I told this to Praying Medic in our debate. He did a big piece about, like McCain and all these people and their relationship with, like, certain organizations and rebels and terror groups, and Praying Medic did it. And, and then he hates on Alex Jones and says everybody else is worse than him and he's the best. And, like, he'll follow Q ever. And, like, anybody else isn't the real deal because they've not been as effective as him. Dude, you could check a rap video I have from 2009. The information he's put out now, I put out in a rap song. You could literally there's pretty much exactly what he said. I sampled from Alex Jones in 2009. So it's like, you're not the first one to say this stuff. This stuff's been out for decades. I've been listening to people say this for a decade, which is cool. I'm just saying, it's like, it's one thing to do it. That's great. But it's another thing to be like, I did it. I'm the only one. Anybody else who does it's not as real as me. It's like, dude, it's so cringy. It's so cringy. It's just like, dude. it's just bad vibes. So that's what the QAnon stuff that's really annoyed me. Someone said, "Do a freestyle, bro." Show. I'm not gonna. I debated him. I had a great discussion with him. It's good. I'm not. You don't see me here saying I'm the only one doing anything good, and anybody else isn't going as deep. And it's like it's awful. I'm like, change yourself to change the world. Do your own thing. Everybody's got something to add. Like that's the truth. The lie is like I'm the realest deal, and no one else is doing enough because they're not saying what I'm saying, and it's like they're all shills. Like that's not true. Intermediary Joe said, "Do you think you won your debate with nuance, bro?" I think the people won. As far as like, it was a great discussion because of the questions he asked, and they're very, very valid. Like, I think it was a win for everybody involved. But do I think I won? I don't. I mean, I don't know. I think people who listened won, but if you're gonna ask my perspective, I mean, I think I listened back to it and I thought during it, I was like, there were certain times where I thought I could have been better. But when I listened to the debate back, I thought I made extremely valid points. And a lot of stuff he said was, I mean, he asked good questions and stuff, but I wasn't overly impressed with his debate side. And I thought I did better personally, but I like Nuance Bro and I like a lot of his videos. So if you ask me, yeah, I would say I think so, but it's not about that. That's why people were attacking him. It's about the discussion and the questions, and it wouldn't have been a debate without him. So, it's there's points that were made in that debate that haven't really been brought up, and that's why I like Nuance Bro. Honestly, I enjoy Nuance Bro more than a lot of like regular conservatives because he'll question narratives and he'll do research on things that a lot of people don't. So. Sean said, Alex Jones is a Zionist puppet with CIA connections, and he's controlled opposition. Okay, Sean, if you say so. The thing with Alex, though, I don't want to get too much into this now, but like Alex has done so much stuff. Alex has talked about the Federal Reserve. He's talked about the CFR. He's talked about a decade ago. He's talked about our president's connections with Al Qaeda. Like, you have to understand, like, he did all that. Like, Q says some of that stuff, he goes deeper in some ways, but he said this stuff. I don't understand why people think he would say all this stuff. Maybe at a certain point he's reached a barrier and he hasn't crossed the barrier, but he paved the way for a lot of people. So even if you say he's a shill now, you have to understand he inspired a lot of people today. I'm sure, honestly, he probably even inspired Q. And he led the way for these new people to go on. So I just don't agree that I don't think he's that big of a shill. And I just think like that's what annoys me about the QAnon movement too, is like everyone says that. Q's never said that. He said one thing about people getting paid and everyone's like, it's Alex, it's Alex, it's Alex, it's Alex. And it's like, it's so annoying. It's like, why? I don't understand. Like, why do you pick a fight with Alex? Like that's like QAnon. Because you guys are obsessed with acting like you're a realer or you're woker and anybody else is a shill. Like it's that mentality that has led me away from the movement. Because it's like, and someone said Q is a LARP. I don't believe that either. I think he's doing interesting work, but this is the sports team thing that I'm getting annoyed with the right wing a lot too, where it's like, you guys can't just take certain things and analyze it and take the good and leave the bad and make it. It's like, it's either like they're a LARP, they're a shill, they're a sellout. It's like, can you not understand that there's certain people and things that have inherent value and maybe they don't say everything you want them to, but maybe they have their own, like Alex, maybe he understands something that you don't, or he has connections that you don't, and he feels that that's the best way to go. Maybe not. I mean, it's all a possibility, but I find like this, like I like matrix breakers, and if you're gonna say I'm woke and I'm the best, and then you all say the same thing, it becomes very NPC like to me. Control Alt Delete said, we feel you. I spent thousands on InfoWars over the years until Alex lied in my face about Q criticism myself. I was ready to dump Q until he did it. See, I don't know what he said about Q. To be honest, I haven't been watching Alex that much over the last couple of months. But yeah, people are so like it's like a competition, like the Q people are mad at Alex people are mad at Q. Maybe Alex said something. I don't know what he said about Q, but I get it. Like once your people get challenged, then you kind of fight back. I get it. But I never understood that. Like there's a lot of conservatives who are really desperate to bring Q down, and there's a lot of Q people who are desperate to bring other people down. I find that it's unnecessary, but like I said, I don't know. I mean, to me, the more I know and more I understand, it's just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I never thought about that before. Someone said the movement's been. I mean, it's a movement of researching and thinking for yourself and reading the messages. So there's just leaders in it that I feel are misleading, and also it's just like but it's one of those things too. There's a lot of good, like the people I know a lot of people. Q's very popular, and a lot of people that I meet that like me like him as well. And the people I meet seem legit. It's more like the leaders online, or like the people on Twitter who are like, when I talk to people in person, they usually get it. Someone said QAnon's an Someone said QAnon is an IHOP employee. That's funny. That's hilarious. Anomaly, any comments on Gavin McGinnis banned on Twitter? Yeah, I did a whole video about it, but he's suing what? The Southern Poverty Law Center? That's dope. No, I'm not saying you guys I feel people are saying things about Alex. I'm not saying you have to like or dislike him or feel certain ways. There's obviously things that I've seen that have made me suspicious, but I don't know. I just find that saying somebody's an agent is like a very big claim. So I think people are too loose with it. I'll tell you guys this too. When you call everybody racist, it takes the term away. When you call everyone sexist, it muddies the water, so it doesn't mean anything. So racist, sexist, xenophobia, they don't mean anything. When it comes to CIA agents and Mossad and like foreign agents of like the Trilateral Commission or Jesuits or anything, it's a serious claim. So if you start calling everybody a Mossad shill who doesn't like QAnon, you're muddying the terms. And this is what a lot of conspiracy theorists don't understand. I don't say conspiracy theorists in a way to put you down, but it's like if you do the same thing that liberals do and conservatives do sometimes, and you just call everybody that disagrees with you, you're not woke. You're not exposing agents. You're making it so nothing matters. It doesn't matter who's an agent now because you're calling everyone an agent with no proof just because they disagreed with you or they don't like who you like. Like, it's pretty it's pretty stupid. And I get why people are mad at Alex because he said Q's an agent or something. Like, he's part of it. Same with him. It's like when you say I don't know. To me, I just like to be pinpoint with stuff, and I'll say maybe, and I'll wait out there. But when you call everyone an agent, and everything become like a lot of conspiracy theorists, they're so deprived of the truth because we're so lied to that they'll believe anything that they hear. I listen to like 20 YouTube videos a week. I listen to hours about the Swiss bank, about these people, this, that. But it's like I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But I don't fully believe everything I hear because I weigh it out. So it's like people are so deprived of the truth. They hear one thing, they do it. Someone disagrees with them, they do it. Like, it's really bad. It's bad vibes. And like the QAnon movement, not everybody, but some people, you guys have pretty much made the word Mossad agent mean nothing. Like, it doesn't even mean anything anymore because you guys will call it. I don't mean you specifically, but a lot of people, anybody that's off course, they'll be like, dude, they're here. Someone tagged me in this big list of conservatives and they said, add Anomaly to the list. And I just looked at it. It was on Twitter. And it was like a list of like fake people, anti-QAnon or something. Like, I'm not even anti-QAnon. It's not even true. What I'm trying to just say, if you do stuff like that, it's going to muddy the waters. Because even like, say, Jack Posobiec, I get it. He doesn't like Q. But he does a lot of other good work too. He exposes a lot of things. He brings a lot of stuff up. I don't think that's what agents do. I don't think agents do a lot of really good work and wake people up and disagree on one thing. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, if Alex was an agent, he's exposed agents for decades. He's exposed the deep plots and globalism and central banks, and he's exposed all this stuff already. So I get, like, he gets he can get annoying and he can do stuff that's not weird and not true. Like I get why people might not trust him or believe certain things or like his strategy, but it just, to me, it just doesn't make logical sense that what benefit would it have to just like wake everyone up, 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 tell everyone the truth, tell everyone the truth, get Trump elected, and then go south. Like, I don't understand how that's even a thing. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Someone said Alan Watt. Yeah, I have an Alan Watt book. Someone said Bill Cooper. I need to look more into Bill Cooper too. Someone said Alex Jones exposed Jordan Peterson right away. Honestly, I thought Alex was crazy when Alex said Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro are pushing the atheist agenda. I was like, what is he talking about? Jordan Peterson's a Christian and Ben Shapiro's a Jew. But then I realized that Ben Shapiro's more interested in his Jewish race than he really is religion. And Jordan Peterson, the way he talks, he doesn't sound like a real Christian. So what I thought was crazy that Alex said, I realized now, I'm like, oh, I do think he's right. And I've heard that Jordan Peterson had a debate with Sam Harris where he basically was like, wasn't really Christian. I mean, I don't know, but that, you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of like, I don't understand. There's no benefit to keeping it real a lot. If you're an agent, you're doing media stuff, right? I mean, maybe you're doing other stuff, but all I'm saying is don't be so sure. Don't throw people under the bus unless you're really sure. That's like, even you notice me in my critiques of QAnon people, you don't hear me say praying medic's a shill or this or that. I said he does a lot of great work. He's doing a lot of good research. My problem is with his attitude, his ego, and his willingness to throw others under the bus. That's my problem. You don't hear me throw him under the bus. I'm not saying he's a shill, he's a liar, he's a horrible person. I don't believe that. I'm sure he's a great person. He's really excited probably that he has a following and, people listen to him and he's good at what he does. I don't trust people that just throw people under the bus and ignore all their knowledge and wisdom. And this doesn't just go for Q people. This goes for everyone. And I find that everyone's so quick to just like, no, it doesn't agree with me. They're a shill. It's like, now there's no such thing as a shill. You guys ruined it. Does that make sense or no? Have you heard of Joseph Farrell anomaly? No, I haven't. Memphis Bear, that's funny. That's pretty funny. It's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I've learned so much this last 3 weeks, and it's changed my whole, like, there's so many elements that I didn't already know. And now I'm starting like there's it's not, and here, I'm gonna drop some more gems and I'll probably take off soon. People think it's black and white. And then people think it's like America and Israel, or like, this and that, or like globalist and people. And like, there's elements of truth to some of those stuff. But what you have to understand is the world, there's a lot of different power structures. Like there's this people, 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 and they all have power. And even within, say, like what I'm learning about, like I'm doing a lot of research into Israel and Jewish culture because it's something that like you can't talk about. So it's extra interesting to me. But what I'm learning now is there's different, even in like people think it's just like all Jews are just all working together. It's really not true. And it's fun to just blame someone and say they're all working together. They hold a lot of influence. Israel has a lot of power and control. I'm not disagreeing with that. And I do find it weird that you can't talk about it. But what you don't understand is there's inter beefing within the Jewish community. There's multiple different types, but there's like two main power structures. And then there's other people who totally disagree. And then there's my Jewish friends who have no problem in criticizing and researching. And then there's Roseanne, who's Jewish and loves Israel, but she's also willing to like criticize and break up the matrix in so many other ways. Like, so a lot of people, the problem is people want to paint everything black and white. But the truth is, when it comes to the power structure of the world, it's deeper than one race. It's deeper than one religion. It's deeper than one country or one entity. Even like there's so many different power structures, and I'm sure at some point they're aligned. But I think that's people's biggest problem, is thinking that it's like this and that, and if these people win, it's going to be all good and bad. It's all intertwined. And that's why I like Trump a lot, because people are like, why doesn't Trump do this and why doesn't he do that? He's already done enough. He's already done more than I've ever seen anybody done. When you're talking about progress, he's made more progress in 2 years than I've ever seen done ever. So it's like he can't just knock over all the pins. Like people are like, why doesn't he call out these people? Like, dude, he's making deals. He's aligning himself with certain powerful people. He's attacking certain power structures. But you don't want to just knock down the whole system without having a certain plan in place. You got to ease in on it. You know, it's a chess game. It's not Connect Four. You don't open the floodgates. So it's like this is where I feel like a lot of people, it's like, you're a shill, you're this, you're, it's not true. Like, and people are not even as tight. Like people, like, it's not that, it is that serious, but at the end of the day, like these power groups too, they're not that tight and loyal to each other as well. So it's like, I find that the whole conversation has been like, misrepresented, but it's so much deeper that even what I'm saying is not doing it justice. There's so much going on. And honestly, even the top scholar, that's why someone said, Anomaly, how much do you know about climate change? And valid question, but like you could say, how much do you know about global politics and conspiracies? And I would say even the top human that knows the most about secret societies and power structures and religions and power and banks still probably doesn't know that much. You know, the deepest, most researched human still probably doesn't know that much. And that's okay to not know. And I find that's where a lot of people, they don't want to not know and they don't want to not be sure. It's okay. It's okay to have question marks and not, I don't trust people who are too sure of themselves about something that you can't be sure about. I hope you're sure in your conviction and in your faith and in your spirit. That's okay to be sure of. But if you're like sure of people who are agents who aren't agents and you're not really sure, to me, that's a red flag. But to each their own, you know? That's how I feel. Whiteboard Becky said, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. Good luck. I mean, the Democratic thing is going to be hilarious. It's an interest. He honestly might win the Democratic side. I think he might, man, or woman, whatever. Control Delete said, your music's amazing. At first, I cringed because I wasn't used to hearing positivity and rap. But now I can't get enough. You need an LP. Thank you, brother. I have a lot of really old, dope stuff, too. Some of it got taken off. They took it off of Dat Piff, which sucks, all my old music. But yeah, if you go to my website, legendary.vision, I got a lot of old mixtapes, too. So also my SoundCloud, that's a pretty good one. I got a lot of songs. And even my old songs from 2008, I got some stuff that's pretty deep. Like, I was onto some stuff pretty early on, so you could check out my old music too if you want. I might have to. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna talk about social events and stuff, but the more I learn about like who's really, not that I know who's really in control, but the more I learn about who's like influencing power, and I'm like realizing how the left and the right. Although I still do believe that the right wing is just so much better. They're protecting freedom and money and like first two amendments. Like the right wing just makes a lot more sense to me now for sure. But like when it really comes to other stuff, there's so much other going on. I'm becoming so much more sorry, interested in like so much other stuff. Like I'm diving down other rabbit holes, to be honest, where I'm like I'm having fun. Elk Farmer 78 said, "Are you a private agent for Trump?" No, I'm almost honestly, I'm almost it's almost sad, right? Because like I've probably, even with all my videos and like I've probably helped Trump so much. They've never invited me to the White House, never been on Fox News, never got a call to be an agent. It's like I'm almost sad. I've done more for Trump than most people have. I've blown up two of the biggest movements. Literally, I like made them very popular. And those people went to the White House. Trump's tweeted them. I don't care. I don't need attention. I'm not sad. I'm just saying at this point, they should ask me to be an agent. If I'm sad about one thing, it's that they haven't asked me to be like an official agent or something, because I'm doing all this stuff and I'm only for Patreon, donor box, and YouTube super chats. I only get 70%. So I mean, I have no problem calling out Trump. I did. It's not my fault. He's just getting so many things right. I called him out about the LGBT thing with like Iran and Venezuela. I'm America first. I don't agree with like making the whole world gay. Not that he's doing that. You know what I mean? I get he's trying to decriminalize it, which is great, but I don't like the idea of running around the world. I feel like United States track record is not so great, so we should focus on ourselves rather than being in Iran and Venezuela. I call out the right wing all the time. I mean, someone said you should get more play. It's all good. Your vibe affects your tribe, and I think I'm too like I'm not. These other people aren't me, so they don't like me, or they're not my style. So it's all good. I'm way more successful and well off than I could have imagined. So it's that I'm doing pretty good considering how crazy things could be. So I'm not. Rather than that, I'd like to shed some light on people who've shown me love. Um, Hageman Report. They've had me on. They see the truth in Anomaly and they show me love. Jesse Lee Peterson, Andrew Clavin, Owen Benjamin, Brandon from the Walkaway Movement's been cool. Who else? Chad Prather had me on early on. Chad Prather, he's on Blaze TV now. He said he'll have me on. I'd rather show love to the people who do show me love because it's like, the people who have Roseanne, people who have recognized me. I'd rather talk about them because why I'm not a TV person. I'll break the whole matrix, and they don't want that. So, although honestly, they should. If they gave me a TV show, I swear, or like Blaze TV, like if they gave me a budget, I could make the coolest show. It doesn't matter because I'll just live stream and make my own videos. But like, I feel like they're playing themselves. It's like I don't need it, but at the same time, you give me a little budget, I'll make the greatest show ever. Maybe not, maybe, but I'm gonna aim high. I don't aim low. Let's see. Sean said, "I agree with most of what you say, my brother. I appreciate it's all. It's what it's all about. And honestly, Sean, I appreciate you saying that because with a lot of your intuition, you may be right, because there's things that Alex said or like even Owen said about certain people where at first I was just like, I don't know. But then sometimes those things age well. So maybe I could tell you now, I could be like, you're wrong about that person, but maybe in a year it becomes way more obvious. Like someone asked me about Joe. I don't want to get too into it, but like Owen and Alex were going hard to Joe for a while. And I'm on my own business and I'm like, I don't know. He does a lot of good work. But then it's like, people will reveal themselves in time and what's true is true, what's false is false. So you may be onto something, Sam or Sean. You might be onto something. And only time will tell. Just be pinpointing your stuff or do what you want to do. Cause this is a beautiful time where everybody's revealing themselves, right? It's like people are like iffy, and then a year later, that it's like word vomit. They're like blah, and then you see like what you're like, oh, they are a shill. you know, there's got to be some shills for sure. I'm not gonna, it's like they got a budget, so I'm sure there are. Jay said, "I'm no troll at all." I don't know. You're trolling too hard. I'm just saying. Uh, Travis said, "Jay's a troll." Have you seen Tommy Robinson's BBC documentary? No, I haven't. Thank you, POVLA. Appreciate you. Your show might be bigger than you think. No, that's the thing. I can't complain. I mean, it's late night here. We got 300 people. That's still amazing. I I don't take anything for granted. Like it's things are so big now. It's like I don't. It is what it is. I just like to have fun and I'd like to work with people and stuff. But I mean, how could I complain? I got like 200 million views on Facebook or something last year. It's insanity. Like it's nutty. It's seriously so crazy. I'm so grateful for this digital era. It's great. I just want to, I have a lot of energy too. So a lot of times, some of the greatest opportunities I've gotten, I've poked, and people are like, "Anomaly, don't poke." But then I poke, and then people will open the door for me. I don't like to barge my way in, but sometimes I gotta poke a little bit, and then they're like, I gotta raise the bar a little bit sometimes. So I have fun. I've poked my way into a few situations, and I troll in a nice way, so people can't even get mad because I'm like complimenting them while I'm trolling them, and like, all right, fine, we'll have Anomaly on the show. Let's see what y'all are talking about. So, War Hellrat said Alex Jones is an agent for Geico. That's all, Alex. It's been a big scheme so he could sell car insurance or whatever Geico sells. That's hilarious. Someone said, "Are you a black? So you're a black Israelite? How dark is my light? Do I look like a black Israelite? I got my fade to black hat on. No, no, I'm not a black Israelite. I don't know if that was a joke, but that's pretty funny too. Should I just say I'm a black Israelite and then I'll show up at black Israelite events? They'll be so mad. I'll be at black Israelite events. I'll be like, Black Israel, we're the true Jews. And they'll be like, bro, who are you? And I'm like, dude, I'm just one of y'all. And they're like, you ain't even black though. It's not gonna work very well. I don't make a very good black Israelite. It is pretty late, but no, I'm not. I'm not a black Israelite. That was obviously a joke. I'm not even black, and I'm not Israeli. As far as I know, I don't know. I haven't taken a DNA test, but thoughts on preparedness? It's always good to be prepared. Preparedness is not never a bad thing. Someone says slightly offensive is in the chat. Is it? Oh yeah. You look like Jesus. My faith has increased when I watch you. Thank you. Is that Elijah? Elijah's a good guy. He's been crushing it, man. I don't they don't give me your recommended searches, Elijah. I don't look when I watch videos, I don't watch videos in my subscriptions. I only get the recommended. So I don't know. Maybe they flagged you as conspiracy theory because you're too busy. I don't know, causing a ruckus in the street. Actually, I'm a snitch on you, Elijah. Hold on. Let me send an email to YouTube. I'm gonna try to get you banned real quick. Hold on. You're offending me. Wait, great. Time out. This guy who's super chatted, his name is Great Barrier Queefs. You hella black Israelite. That's rare all the way around. That's a nice name. Great Barrier Queefs. That's intense. Thank you. Thank you for paying to call me a black Israelite. Yeah, I'm not giving my DNA. It's all good. Great Barrier Queef. That's ignorant. That's Elijah on another screen name from Slightly Offensive. He's Great Barrier Queefs. He thought that was funny, so he made. Maybe that's Black Mike. He's in the other room, trolling. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. The thought. Someone's name is the Thought Seeker. You guys are hilarious. We got some rarities in here. Who else we got? No, I'm not doing my DNA test. Although it is kind of cool though. It's like they trace all your stuff, you know? It's pretty fun. Elk Farmer 78. I like that too. What happened in North Korea? Well, it's going too well there, so they got to focus on something else. You guys got some good names in here. Someone said you should buy or make a standing desk. Yeah, I was gonna buy one, but they're like $800. I feel stupid spending that on a desk, but I might do it anyway. I want to buy a standing desk, but I feel like I'm gonna move at a certain point. I don't know where to yet. Maybe in California again, maybe out the state. But I'll buy a standing desk when I move. I'm going through phases, and like honestly, even this house, I have a bedroom that I converted into a studio, and then I put my like I've never had space in my life. Like my family growing up, I never had a lot of money. We're okay though, but I never had any space. Like my family's houses were always pretty small, so just to have this much space, even here, I'm pretty happy. But I do want to move eventually, and then I'll probably get a standing desk. But I'm not even focused on it now. It's like I've been worse. That's why. Maybe that's why I'm so happy too, because like everybody takes everything for granted. I done did it all, so it's like this is good enough. You know, I've done worse. I've had a studio apartment with no light, like terrible problems. Like, so it's like if I could have a peace of mind, that's all I want. Do you have any good ghost stories? No, not that I could think of. My family saw a ghost, but not me necessarily. All right, I'll do one more question. I'm gonna take off. I'm pretty tired. I was at this Conscious Life Expo all weekend, and then I got assaulted by this lady. I have the. Should I out her? I think I might post it up in the compilation, and I might put an NPC face on her. But it's pretty funny. I start screaming too because I was trying to make a scene. I was like, "Yo, she just assaulted me. Y'all get this on camera." Adriana said, I need to red pill my family so bad. I recommended you. I pray they start listening. Adriana, send them like a good, like maybe like the racist video, not literally racist, but like the how to stop racism or why I want to stop racism. Something that's like out there, like one of the shorter videos that's to the point. Because if it's just like if it's one of these videos, they'll be like, oh my God, he's crazy, even though it's not that crazy. But the short videos seem to do the best red pilling. Like the 5 minute ones, the ones that are like to the point, like people, I've got a really good response from a lot of them. Anomaly, I think the mainstream media fake news fears you. I mean, I don't live in fear. That's up to them if they do, but it's all love, honestly. I'm moving in love and vibration, so they don't have to fear. They just gotta. I'm their friend. They don't gotta fear me. I'm their best friend. I'm a free consultant for the mainstream media. What you're doing is not working. You're losing money. You're losing support. You're losing peace. You're losing wellness. Like it's a fail, 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 fail. It's a lose, lose, lose. Like they got it. They got to switch up their mojo. I'm their best friend. They love me. Jay Thomas said racism will stop if white people stop it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that, but someone said you and Owen should make a rap track together. I'm with it. Owen's a brilliant pianist. I want to say pianist, but that's not how you say it. Do you know anything about Buddhism? Um, no, I know more about Taoism than Buddhism. I mean, I know Buddha quotes and a little bit about Buddha, but I'm more researched into Taoism than Buddhism, but they're very similar. I like the philosophy and the wisdom in them. I think a lot of people like it's a lot of wisdom in a lot of places, so it's okay to receive it. A lot of people are angry at that. Anomaly moved to a free state, maybe. Uh, 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 uh. All right, I'm gonna roll out, guys. Thank you. Thanks for joining. I'll be back with some higher energy streams, like my man, Jesus Christ, my homie, what's his name, Mike Servin. Man, he's a legend. He's got high energy, but I'll be back. I'll do some streams, some videos this week. I was pretty busy last week, so I'm always cranking out the content. But I'm also trying to stretch out so I can go long term. My back hurts sometimes. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America, and God bless the world. Have a good weekend. I'll probably take tomorrow off and then I'll be back. I'll probably put out a video tomorrow though. I'll do a compilation. I went to the Conscious Life Expo and I took funny videos and then I got assaulted. So it didn't need to be that way, but I guess it's gonna be that type of video now. It's pretty fun. All right. Have a good one, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll have a video.